broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
Hey, friends and neighbors, what do you say? Good morning. Great to see you this morning. This is The Bill Press Show. We're coming to you live from our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., bringing you up to date on all the news of the day, whether it's happening here in our nation's capital, around the country, around the globe. Coming to you live on your local progressive talk radio station, on Free Speech TV, and worldwide on our video stream, TawkrTV. Events in the nation's capital. Hi, everybody. It's Bill Press. This year marks the 10th anniversary of doing the Bill Press Show, every day covering the news of the day with the nation's top newsmakers, either on the line or in our studio right here on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. Not only that, I go to the White House briefings every day to get answers to the top questions of the day. Bottom line, if it's happening in Washington, D.C., either at the White House or the Capitol, we are all over it. Every day, we welcome to our studio political leaders and reporters and labor leaders and newsmakers to help us understand the issues of the day. You know, we started out as a radio show only, but over the years, we have branched out to all forms of the new media. So today, we're not just a radio show. We are podcasting, streaming audio, streaming video, and we are simulcast live on Free Speech TV nationwide, reaching out to 40 million households on Free Speech TV, in addition to hundreds of thousands on local radio stations and online.
AFGE is so proud to be associated with this show and looks forward to being working with Bill and this show for a long time.
Bill Press is the right man at the right time with the right message.
And thanks to the Bill Press Show, we get our message out to thousands and thousands of people every day. Thank you, Bill Press.
The Teamsters are a proud partner with Bill Press on his show, telling the truth about what's going on with working families. Tune in.
Yes, it's been a fun and exciting 10 years so far for the Bill Press Show. We're looking forward to many more with all of you, broadcasting live every morning from the nation's capital.
On your radio, on TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
A few years ago, plastic bag waste in our city came to a tipping point. It was clear we had a bag problem. My department was tasked to reduce plastic bag consumption. We needed to come up with ways to change human behavior. So we asked ourselves,
would you like a bag?
What do people really hate?
Yep.
Getting punched in the stomach. Preliminary studies showed that the consequences weren't severe enough to warrant behavioral change.
Actually, can I get that double bagged?
So we thought, what do people hate more than getting punched in the stomach? Kissing Helga.
Hey, big boy.
People didn't find her so offensive after all, so we had to get creative.
How many bags? Okay, now, pour this ice water down your pants.
We tried everything.
Eat this rat. Defuse this bomb.
Even fighting your clone. After blowing through millions of dollars of government funds on research, I came up with a brilliant idea.
Why don't we just charge 5 cents per bag?
That's a stupid idea.
Would you like a bag?
Yes.
5 cents a bag.
5 cents? 5 cents? Do I still have the option of getting punched?
Honestly, I don't know how everyone else missed it.
Why don't you just get a reusable bag?
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
Hey, here we go in the middle of the programming. We're going to take a little time out, and you know why. Hey, come on, people. What's going on? I checked in with Free Speech TV yesterday, and here we are, halfway through the pledge drive this December, and we are far from halfway to our goal, still over $190,000 to raise. We got to do better than that. You've got to help us better than that. Look, I'm not making this up. Every one of these pledge drives, particularly now, I'm really getting worried. I'm worried that if we don't make it, we're going to get a call from the people of Free Speech TV saying, sorry, we don't have the resources to keep going at full strength. We're either going to have to cut back or we're going to have to pull the plug altogether on Free Speech TV. Look, we don't want that. You don't want that. We know you don't want that. That's why you tune in every day. Well, the only way to prevent that from happening, no kidding, getting serious now, this is real. The only way to prevent that from happening is if you dig in, please, during this pledge drive, as generously as you can, help out Free Speech TV and take advantage of this last opportunity in the year to get yourself a nice, big, juicy tax deduction for what better cause than to keep the nation's only independent, progressive, freewheeling television network on the air, Free Speech TV. You do that, and we'll send our little token of appreciation. If you can help us with a $30 pledge, you will get a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set for $60. That's just $5 a month. Think about it. A Free Speech TV calendar. It's a brand new item with pictures of all your favorite Free Speech TV hosts. A pledge of $10 a month or $120 for Bill Press Show pint glasses. Yeah, you can have a little nice refreshment there while you're watching the show. $240 or $20 a month, a little package for the Women's Bean Project. A copy of that calendar, a contribution to the Women's Bean Project, a little bundle of soup and cornbread, and 2 of those pint glasses. For $360, you will be the best-dressed person on your block with a brand-new Carol Press hand-woven rayon chenille scarf. And like I wear every day here, either in the studio or certainly outside in the winter in Washington. And if you can help us with $1,000, you've had a good year, help us with $1,000. Come on to Washington, get yourself here, Carol and I. We'll go out to dinner at one of our favorite restaurants on Capitol Hill, invite you into the studio the next morning to meet the entire team. But got to stress, again, how urgent this is, how important it is. Don't put it off any longer. Please make your pledge today. Go to 877-378-8669. We need your help to stay on the air, or go to freespeech.org. Thanks for being there one more time, but we really need you to dig in. Be as generous as you can. Thank you.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where the ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
Columbine.
Virginia Tech.
Tucson.
Aurora.
Fort Hood. Oak Creek.
Newtown.
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 How many more?
How many more? How many more colleges? How many more classrooms?
How many more movie theaters?
How many more houses of faith?
How many more shopping malls?
How many more street corners?
How many more?
How many more?
Enough.
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 Demand a plan.
Right now. As a mom.
As a dad. As a friend. As a husband.
As a wife.
As an American.
As an American.
As an American.
As a human being.
For the children of Sandy Hook.
Demand a plan. No more lists of names. It's not too soon.
It's too late.
Now is the time.
Before we all know someone who loved someone on that list.
No more lists.
No more.
who they might have been. No more.
If we had just done something yesterday. It's time.
We can do better than this.
We can do better than this.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time for our leaders to act.
Demand a plan. Right now.
Right now.
You! Demand it!
Enough.
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 Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
Lindsey Graham, good for him. The only one who says he'd rather lose with somebody else than win with Donald Trump. President Lindsey Graham. Hey, hello, everybody. What do you say? Whoa, what a wild time we're living in. Wednesday, December 9. This is when you need somebody to help you through the thicket of this presidential contest and all the craziness that's going on. And that's why we are here. The Bill Press Show. Taking off now for the next 3 hours. Fasten your seatbelts. Let's take this wild ride through the politics of the day and the other news of the day. On your local progressive talk radio station and on Free Speech TV, on the radio, on television, here with you. And glad to see you today. Thank you for joining us. So don't just sit there. Don't just drive along and listen. Be part of the show. Make your voices heard by giving us a call at 866-55-PRESS. Always love to hear from you. Particularly those of you who have never called before. You hear others do so it can't be that difficult. Chime in yourself. Make your voice heard. You can also do so by just sending us your social media comments on Twitter at BP Show and on Facebook at facebook.com/Bill Press Show. And later today, of course, Time Magazine is going to announce their Person of the Year. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, including myself, are pissed off because they did an online voting and Bernie Sanders crushed it. Crushed it. He got way, way more than anybody else. And yet the editors of Time Magazine decided he wasn't even a candidate. Shouldn't even be on the short list for the Person of the Year, which is outrageous. So just shows you kind of where they're at, right?
They're looking to sell magazines.
Yeah.
They want Donald Trump to be the Time Person of the Year.
They could sell a lot of magazines with Bernie, too, but not as many with Trump. So they're going to, I'll tell you, I'll bet you money right now it's going to be Donald Trump.
Yeah, I think so, too. I really do.
And the same reason it's going to be Donald Trump is the same reason that all the networks will do whatever they can to keep Donald Trump in the debates because he gets ratings.
Yeah.
Right, there you go. Peter Ogburn and Jamie Benson. Hello, team.
Hey, here we
good
are.
Morning.
All right, Ray Rogers, there she is, ready to take your calls, 866-55-PRESS. Cyprian Bolding so blown away by the loss of the Washington team, football team the other night that he's in mourning.
Yeah.
But Monty Chancellor is here.
He got mad. We made fun of him yesterday.
I know,
he took the day off.
But Monty Chancellor is here. He survived and doing a good job as our videographer today. You know, everybody was trying to reach out yesterday to figure out what they could say about Donald Trump that might make a little bit of news and get them some attention. Carly Fiorina maybe tried a little too hard.
And Carly Fiorina was talking about Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton today. And she even used a Christmas metaphor to sum up the race right now. Listen to what she said.
Donald Trump is Hillary Clinton's Christmas gift wrapped up under a tree. I am the lump of coal in her stocking.
Not the best metaphor. You heard me. I'm a dirty black rock shoved into an oversized sock. I want to be your next president. Not the best metaphor, yeah.
Yeah, she's just too cute by half. Right?
Yeah, come on. Get out of here with that.
She had one little bump, which was more than she deserved in this race.
Get
so
out of
far.
this race.
Yeah, right. Seriously.
After she made it from the kiddie table to the grown-up table and then proved she didn't belong at the grown-up table, she didn't belong at the kiddie table either.
I'm a little lump of coal.
I'm a little lump of coal.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, all right, good.
Bye
Thank
now.
you, Carly. Goodbye.
Bye now.
David Jackson from USA joins us a little bit later here. In the program today, Leo Gerard, the president of the United Steelworkers, will be along to talk about their big battle with Allegheny Steel. And Jess McIntosh in from Emily's List, and reporters in from National Journal and other publications as well. A great lineup today. You are the heart of it. And yes, Republicans find it hard to distance themselves from Donald Trump. But first,
this is the Full Court Press.
Just a couple of other stories making news. If you're in Cleveland, Ohio, and you want to buy some cigarettes, it just got a little bit harder, as yesterday the legal age to buy tobacco products went up from 18 to 21. This was a vote in front of the Cleveland City Council. Earlier this week, they voted in favor of raising the minimum age to 21 for those who could buy not only tobacco products, but e-cigarettes as well. This passed the Cleveland City Council 13-3. It will ban stores from selling cigarettes, tobacco, e-cigarettes to anyone under the age of 21 in the city of Cleveland. The first offense would be a fourth-degree misdemeanor, which could result in 30 days in jail or a $250 fine. So don't go selling tobacco products to anyone under the age of 21.
What about firearms?
Yeah, firearms you can still buy. You can still buy. It's not a problem.
Probably 18, 14.
Very weird move for Apple yesterday. They quietly unveiled a new product. Normally they do these things with great fanfare, but they put out a new product on their website that someone just happened to notice when you looked under cases that you could buy for your iPhone. Right? You get a case for your iPhone. Apple put up on its store a new case that actually charges your phone. It has a little battery pack on it. So when you it's smart that they're doing this.
Very smart.
You put your phone in your case. You have your phone in your case. It runs off a little battery pack. And while you're walking around with your phone in your pocket, it can actually be charging if you have one of these cases.
Long overdue.
Way long overdue. But usually it's so weird because they have these huge announcements.
I have one of those little power packs. They're great.
Yeah.
I don't use it that much, but if I know I'm going to be out and the phone will probably run down, those power packs, man.
Those power packs are handy, but they can also be. It's one more thing to carry. It's one more thing to carry, right? This is
they're not that big.
It was something else, though. This is nothing else.
Right.
This is a case that you need. It's just your phone.
No,
So
I think this is better. This is great.
And how about the Golden State Warriors?
I'm telling you.
My goodness, they won another game last night. This makes them 23-0 on the season. Klay Thompson last night scored 39 points. Steph Curry nearly had a triple-double. They beat the Indiana Pacers. Final score was 131 to 123, a high-scoring affair. If you go back, looking even in last season, they have won 27 straight games dating to last spring. That ties the 2012-2013 Heat for the second longest streak in NBA history. The 1971-1972 LA Lakers have the record with 33 wins in a row. We'll see if they...
I have a bold prediction here.
Go ahead.
The Golden State Warriors.
Oh, I know what he's
head to Boston, Massachusetts on Friday night.
I knew you were going to say this.
My Celtics, they're gonna pull the upset.
You're out of your
first
mind.
loss.
You're out of your mind.
It's happening.
I mean, look, they're bound to lose something.
No, of course, but it is incredible. I was talking to our son David a couple of days ago. He said that's all anybody's talking about in the Bay Area. He said everybody's just obsessed with the Warriors.
They're the scariest basketball team I've ever seen.
I love watching them.
Oh,
as a
it's
basketball
so
fan.
much
They're
fun.
amazing.
They're the most fun basketball to watch in the NBA. It's amazing.
All right, I'll tell you. We've never seen anything like the Warriors in professional basketball. We have never seen anything like Donald Trump in American politics. You know, it is true. I mean, look, I've been covering this maybe 25, 30 years, but the people who have been around longer than I have are all saying never anything like this in a double sense. Number one, there has never been a candidate for president who has said such outrageous things and led the polls.
Yeah.
I mean, you might add we had a George Wallace. It was pretty outrageous too, but it was a very narrow base, and no way everybody knew there was no way he was ever going to get the nomination. No way he was ever going to get elected. That's not true with Donald Trump, who's saying more outrageous things than anybody ever said, including George Wallace, and yet is number one in the polls. And it seems that the more outrageous things he says, the more disgusting, un-American things he says, the better he does in the polls. Number one. It's also, we've never seen anything like this, in the sense that the media, nobody has ever dominated the media the way Donald Trump does. Yesterday, during our show, we were watching, the cables as we do every morning, and there Donald Trump was on the phone, a half an hour on the phone with Morning Joe, until they finally had to shut him off so they could take a break. He did 15, 20 minutes on CNN. I don't know how much he did on Fox. At least the same amount of time. And then he was on Good Morning America. And that's if he wasn't on the phone to programs yesterday all day long, that's who they were talking about all day long. Totally dominated. And yesterday at the White House briefing, I hope you follow me on Twitter, because I tweeted out, welcome to the Donald J. Trump White House briefing. That's all it was about yesterday. And I got to tell you, Josh Earnest was on fire. He came out. If you've watched any of the briefings, you've heard me talk about them, you know how they work. There are a lot of things the White House doesn't want to talk about at the briefings. There are also some things that they are hoping somebody will ask. And Josh was ready for the Donald Trump question. He had prepared notes. He had prepared one-liners. And Darlene, I forget her last name, with Associated Press, she didn't disappoint. She asked the Donald Trump question as one of the first questions, and Josh Earnest said, disqualified to be president.
What Donald Trump said yesterday disqualifies him from serving as president.
Yes. In fact, Josh also talked about his fake hair. You'd never hear them go into personal attacks, if you will, like that. But I just wanted to. I'm just looking at the. Just looking at the exact quote from Josh when he talked about his figure. I'll find it for you. Also, but then the other point that Josh made, which I thought was very strong, is that, Donald Trump, condemn him, right? Disgusting the stuff he says. But Josh points out, those Republican candidates who refuse to break with Donald Trump, or who say that even though they disagree with him, they would still vote for him, they're just as bad.
What he said is disqualifying. And any Republican who's too fearful of the Republican base to admit it has no business serving as president either.
Yeah. And Josh points out, this is a platform of hate, but it's a platform of hate the Republican Party has built for Donald Trump to stand on. Steve Scalise, part of the leadership in the House, as Josh pointed out yesterday, bragged to a reporter not so long ago that he is David Duke without the baggage. Right. Imagine. I mean, this is the Republican Party. The executive director of the Republican Senate Campaign Committee put out a memo advising candidates that they have to be careful to attack Donald Trump. What they really should do is pick out the best of Donald Trump's characters and comments and ride with the Trump wave.
Gross.
Yeah. Instead of condemning.
By the way, I have that fake hair quote. This is from Josh Earnest yesterday. He's a quote, let me just step back and say that the Trump campaign for months now has had a dustbin of history-like quality to it. From the vacuous sloganeering to the outright lies to even the fake hair, the whole carnival barker routine that we've seen for some time now. The question now is about the rest of the Republican Party and whether or not they're going to be dragged into the dustbin of history with him. And right now, the current trajectory is not very good.
Right, and that's where he talked about Steve Scalise. He talked about this Republican, and he talked about Paul Ryan yesterday. Here he is, Paul Ryan. Listen carefully.
This is not conservatism. What was proposed yesterday is not what this party stands for, and more importantly, it's not what this country stands for.
And then, this is Josh's point, and then Paul Ryan was asked, and then he said, of course, I would vote for him over Hillary Clinton. Jeb Bush said the same thing. Donald Trump, he's come unhinged, but he said, I would still vote for him for president over Hillary Clinton. Every single one of them except Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham said he would rather lose with somebody else than win with Donald Trump. And, of course, he famously told Donald Trump, if we have that, the Lindsey Graham where he said, here's the way that to make America great again. This was Lindsey Graham yesterday morning on CNN.
And you know how you make America great again? Tell Donald Trump to go to hell.
Jesus.
So let's talk about this. Seriously, do you think the Republican Party can get away with trying to have it both ways? Meaning, disagree with Trump, condemn Trump, but still say they would vote for him. Yeah. No. You know what they ought to do? Every single one of them ought to come up and say, we will not. Reince Priebus, by the way, chair of the Republican National Committee, same thing yesterday. He said, I disagree with Donald Trump. But, of course, he said he'd be better than Hillary Clinton. What? Seriously? I mean, a guy who says, I will trash the Constitution, shred the Constitution from day one and apply a religious test to anybody can come into this country? And you're going to vote for that person? No. Let me tell you, you cannot take the Republican Party seriously anymore unless every one of them, every single candidate, and every single party leader will stand up and say, we will not accept Donald Trump as a nominee of this party. We will not support him. We will not vote for him. We will not give him any money. We will not even put him on the ballot. That's what they've got to. It's the only way to end this. 866-55-PRESS. Are they up to it? You know, even as a Democrat, I do not want Donald Trump to be the Republican nominee, even though he'd be the easiest one to beat. I mean, it's time to get rid of this monster. How do we do it? 866-55-PRESS. Let's talk.
Connect with The Bill Press Show on Twitter. Follow us at BP Show and tweet using the hashtag WatchingBP. This is The Bill Press Show.
Okay, friends and neighbors, here we go. Second week of our December pledge drive for Free Speech TV, and we really, really, really need your help. We got a lot on our plate these days. December's a very busy time. I mean, you heard the president the other night. The president says we have to do everything we can to degrade and destroy ISIS. That's one big challenge. We've got to do everything we can to make guns not so easily accessible in this country. That's another big challenge. We've got to get all of our holiday shopping done. Oh, my God. And we've got to save Free Speech TV. That's another big challenge for December. That's why we're turning to you. And let's just get that one out of the way right now. Make your pledge today and do your bit to keep Free Speech TV going. You know, we've got a great, great partnership. I tell you that all the time. I love being part of it. We, Stephanie and Tom and I and Amy Goodman and everybody else, we bring you all the best programming, the best guests, the best commentary that we can every single day. And you help us stay on the air by making your pledges whenever we turn to you as generously as you can and keep that. So let's keep that great partnership going. The only full-time progressive television channel in the nation today. The only free, independent, freewheeling, totally uncensored programming coming to you every day. We know you appreciate that, but we couldn't do it without you. No corporate money, no government money. You are the blood and soul of Free Speech TV. So we ask you again to dig in as generously as you can. Every single pledge, no matter how large, no matter how small, is deeply appreciated by all of us. I'll give you some idea of what you might think about for $30. Pledge of $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal, and a pen set for $60. That pledge, $5 a month. A Free Speech TV calendar with pictures of all your favorite hosts on it for $120 pledge, $10 a month. 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses for $240, $20 a month. A great little package supporting the Women's Bean Project, which includes a contribution to them, plus a can of soup, a bundle of cornbread for you, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. $30 a month pledge, $360, a beautiful hand-woven, one-of-a-kind Carol Press scarf for this winter. And for $1,000, if you can afford that, get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, and we'll bring you in the next morning to meet the whole show here. We'll even get some donuts in from District Donuts and have a big party. Make your pledge today. Please go to 877-378-8669 or just go online to freespeech.org. Free Speech TV, great partnership. Let's keep it going. Make your pledge today, and thank you.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Here we go, 27 minutes after the hour. Donald Trump doubling down yesterday, by the way, saying, this is just like nothing worse than the internment camps by FDR, and look how popular he still is. And he rounded up the Japanese in World War II, so I can keep all Muslims out of the United States. Chad, calling from Chicago. Hello, Chad, early on a Wednesday morning. What do you think?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
All right,
I wanted to call as a Republican from Chicago, blue state, but I don't think Donald Trump fully represents where I think the party is heading and what a traditional Republican in my eyes would be.
Good for you, Chad. I think it's don't you think it's important for the leading Republicans to stand up and say the same thing and just say they would never vote for him?
I mean, I think it's important also to realize that the politics at the end of the day, what kind of backlash would Paul Ryan get if he said, I would vote for Hillary over him? He's still a Republican candidate. I wish he wasn't. But at the end of the day, it's just politics. I
think, actually, Chad, that could destroy the Republican Party. I think this is. I think the future of the Republican Party is on the line right now. Maybe I'm the last one to say it, but if they say they would rather have that racist moron, bigot, as president than anybody else, follow Lindsey Graham's example. Say the right thing.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Neighbors, a little word about Free Speech TV. It's that time of year. Our December pledge drive, very, very important before the end of the year. Your last chance to get a tax deduction for making a charitable contribution to our nonprofit Free Speech TV, and hope you take advantage of that. Come on, how much do you love us? Show me today. Let's make that $1,500 goal that we've got today. At least 15 of you with a pledge of $100 will put us over the top. And I got to tell you, we've been doing this now for a couple of years now. It's the same with every pledge drive. I always start out really nice, we love you, you love us, show us how much you love us, give us a contribution, help keep Free Speech TV on the air. And you know what? It never works. Same thing, we're off to a slow start again. It seems like the only way that we can get you guys to respond is to get a little testy here. I mean, come on, people, damn it. Show us how much you love us. Look, remember, Free Speech TV is built on this whole principle. It's something never seen before in the American media, okay? I mean, people who founded Free Speech TV figured, okay, if it's really true that you don't like the corporate media, and none of us do, all right, then we'll do something different, right? We won't take any government money, won't take any corporate money, won't take any Koch brothers money. And if you really like that, you will respond by digging in and keeping free speech on the air. So this is something, again, totally new, totally independent, and that's why we can be as progressive as we are 24/7, all of us on Free Speech TV. So you either like that plan, you like that principle, you like that approach, or you don't. And if you do, again, please show it by digging in and making as big a pledge as you can to keep free speech going, keep it on the air. It is so important. We depend entirely on you, and we'll help you with a little prompt maybe to make that pledge today. If you can help us with just $30 a year, we'll give you send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60 a year, this is $5 a month, a Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all your favorite hosts on it, $120 pledge, $10 a month, a Bill Press Show, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, something very special, a little bundle put together by the Women's Bean Project, including a contribution to the Bean Project, can of soup and a little bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a great, great gift for yourself or someone you love, a hand-woven scarf by my wife, Carol Press. And again, for $1,000, the big prize, you get yourself to Washington, you and a guest, Carol and I will take you out to dinner at our treat, and we'll bring you in the studio to meet the whole team the next morning. Please help as much as you can. We really, really need it. And do it today. Take advantage of this end-of-the-year opportunity to get your taxes down a little bit by helping Free Speech TV. You know how to do it? Call 877-378-8669 or go to freespeech.org. Make your pledge today as generously as you can, and thank you.
At Earth Justice, we defend the environment in the courtroom. Join our fight. When you take a seat, you take a stand. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
Seen on Free Speech TV and online on TawkrTV. This is the Bill Press Show.
Here we go at 33 minutes after the hour. It is Wednesday, December 9. So good to have you with us today as we, the Bill Press Show, come out to you from Washington, D.C. to wherever you are in this great land of ours. The Bill Press Show brought to you today by the International Association of Machinists. President Tom Buffenbarger leading the men and women of the Machinist, sharpening America's edge on the global economy, you bet. And for more information about all of their good work, go to their website at goiam.org. Of course, we're talking Donald Trump, but we're not the only ones. Again, as I mentioned, we've never seen anything like this before, where one presidential candidate dominates the media and public discourse, not just in this country, but around the world. David Cameron from the UK yesterday commenting on Donald Trump. So did several other world leaders yesterday. King Hussein of Jordan was talking about it. He would not be allowed in the United States under Donald Trump's proposal. But of course then Trump yesterday tried to back down a little bit, saying, well, certainly if, like Ari from Al Jazeera, Ali Velshi, who said, hey, I'm in London. Can I come home? Yeah. Right? Donald Trump's, of course, if they're American citizens and are traveling overseas, they'd be allowed to come home. Oh, see, thank you. How about this one? He said, if they're serving in the military in Iraq or Afghanistan and they happen to miss, well, they'd be allowed to come home too.
Good grief.
Yeah, right. It's not only impractical, it's immoral, and it is unconstitutional, and it is un-American. We do not have a religious test. We will never have a religious test. We should not have a religious test in this country. And again, here's a man saying that is his platform, and even almost to me more outrageous is that Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell and Reince Priebus and Ted Cruz and Jeb Bush, go down the list, Rand Paul, all of them say, except for Lindsey Graham, they would still vote for that racist bigot over Hillary Clinton or any other Democrat.
Did you see yesterday, Donald?
Now, come on. At some point, there are more important things than voting Republican.
Yeah.
Even for Republicans.
Did you see at some point yesterday, someone asked Donald Trump, how exactly would this plan work of keeping Muslims out of the country? Which is, look, this is his plan.
Well, don't expect him to.
Well, no, this is what he said. This is what he said. A customs agent would say, are you a Muslim? And if the answer is yes, the traveler would be turned away.
Oh, I got it. Oh, that's easy. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, duh. Yeah, are you with ISIS? Okay, no, then you can't attack here. You can't come over here.
But how dare anybody ask that question? How would this work? Just like how dare anybody should ask the question, how would you really round up and deport 11 million immigrants? We sort of forgot about that.
Yeah.
We thought that was outrageous? No. He keeps one up again. And Trump yesterday did say he had an interview with Barbara Walters, and she said, well, don't think this is not going to last forever.
It's short term. Let our country get its act together. They knocked down the World Trade Center. They tried doing it twice. Other things have happened. There are people that have tremendously bad intentions. We have to be tough, we have to be smart, and we have to be vigilant.
And I am the enemy of ISIS.
I'm the worst thing that's ever happened to ISIS. The people in my party fully understand that. They're running against me. For the most part, they have no poll numbers. I'm leading by a lot. They get it. They're trying to get publicity for themselves.
Two things. Number one, he's the best thing that's ever happened to ISIS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that ugly face of America that he shows is exactly what ISIS needs as a recruitment poster. Right? And number two, notice he talks about, I'm number one in the polls. I get the big crowds. I get a standing ovation. This guy is, he is obsessed with getting attention and popularity in the crowds. He's always talking about how, I don't care how outrageous it is what I say, it's got to be okay because look at the crowds that I get.
Yeah.
Look at, I'm number one in the polls, right? Like the adulation he feeds on. That's, for him, what determines whether what he's saying or not is acceptable.
Yeah.
Pretty sick when you think about it.
Remember, we're on Twitter at BP Show.
Yes.
At BP Show. You can chime in.
And your
there.
calls at 866-55-PRESS. Robert, we'll get right to you. Meanwhile, Peter?
Phil writes, this is the only way for Trump to go away is for 10 other candidates to drop out as the GOP can so that the GOP can consolidate their support behind somebody else. Interesting thought there.
You know what? I said that a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely. If they were all to do that and get behind somebody and say we have to stop Trump and we would never vote for Trump, it would be all over like that.
Yeah, and Cordell says, if Trump becomes the Republican nominee, I predict a 1964 type election where as long as Democrats turn out, the Republicans will be beaten badly.
It'll be worse because Barry Goldwater did win, I forget, one or two states.
Yeah, right.
Trump, none of them. Let's go down to South Carolina, where Donald Trump made those outrageous remarks for a Monday evening. Robert, what do you say?
When you're having a political discussion, how do you respond to someone that thinks a dishonest Republican is better than an honest Democrat?
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe that's a good question for Paul Ryan, right? I mean,
I think so.
Yeah, Robert. I think you've got to ask, the people, those people, and that's a point that Josh Earnest made yesterday in the briefing, and I think bingo, he was absolutely right on target. Right? Condemn Donald Trump, yes, but you've got to also look at the response of the Republican Party. During the break, I was looking, I can't quite find it, but I read it this morning. The Senate, so we've seen, first of all, the candidates, again, except for Lindsey Graham, all of them have come out of the way to say, no, that's either this is terribly wrong, or I disagree, pretty soft. In the case of Ted Cruz and Rick Santorum and Rand Paul, they all said, well, I know what Donald Trump is trying to do. I just have a better plan.
Yeah.
Basically, they're saying what he's trying to do is the right thing to do, but that's not the way to go about it. I have a better plan of keeping Muslims out of the country. And then you've got, and all of them said they would vote for Trump, including Mitch McConnell. And then you've got the Republican Senate Campaign Committee that put out a memo to Republican Senate candidates saying, basically, Trump is onto something. Now, what he's saying is pretty outrageous, and you don't want to go that far. But what you ought to do is take a look at Donald Trump and realize he's speaking to the base. He's saying things that people want to hear. So you ought to pick out, right, the positive side of Donald Trump and take and ride. They actually use the phrase, ride the Trump wave.
Oh, my God.
Rather than denouncing him, they're encouraging people to be like him.
Yeah.
And to in softer, gentler terms, broadcast the same message.
Yeah.
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 I'm telling you. I think this is this is a battle for the heart and soul of the Republican Party. If there's any soul of the Republican Party left.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really do think that who was it, Phil, who said the only way to do this is if they would all, because look, he's got 27%, 30% in the polls, okay? Right. That's not, I mean, you could beat that, but you can't beat that with 12 candidates each having 5.
Right, exactly.
You put them all together,
exactly right.
You got 60 versus his 30. You double it. It's the only way to do it. 866-55-PRESS out in Sioux City, Iowa, heart of the storm here. Roger. Hey, Roger, thanks for joining us. What's your take?
Well, you're not portraying what Trump said accurately. Listen to the entire clip. He said the immigrant Muslims would not be allowed into the country.
Well, that's a religious test, Roger.
That's not what you said. You said all Muslims would not be allowed back into the country.
I think that's what he said, but let me say, let's just assume that you're right, okay? Why is that okay?
Because they can't differentiate which are the good from the bad Muslims. There's no way of telling. They can't.
So we have a religious test, Roger. Is that it? We say, so
Hey,
Donald Trump is saying, are you a Muslim?
No.
Yes, you can't get in, right?
That's if they are immigrant Muslims.
Well, but you have a religious test for immigrant Muslims, is what you're saying, correct?
Immigrant Muslims, yes. Because
all right, Roger. Let me suggest that you read the Constitution of the United States. Start with the First Amendment.
Read it. There is
Start with the First Amendment. There is no religious test allowed in this country.
Read the whole Constitution.
Start with the First Amendment. I've read it over and over and over. You obviously have not.
And to get to the original point, Roger, this is directly from Donald Trump's campaign press release. Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of all Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what is going on, end quote.
Thank you. I thought he said all.
Yeah.
All right, there it is, Roger. What do you say to that?
I say he's 100% right.
Well, you are as big a racist moron as he is, and go to hell. Get out of here. We'll be back with David Jackson.
Thank you for the call.
Get social with Bill Press. Like us at facebook.com/Bill Press Show. This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, friends, a little time out here to talk about Free Speech TV. You know what they say. You've heard me say it before. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and there's no such thing as Free Speech TV either. Well, yes, there is. I mean, it is free to you, and what a deal. What a great deal every day, 24/7. the best progressive programming you can find anywhere, with starting out with our show and Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and all the rest, Amy Goodman, and all of that coming out to you with the only progressive TV channel in this country that you can depend on day in and day out to bring you the news of the day and the progressive slant on the news of the day and give you a chance to express your opinions. Yes, all of that is free to you, but of course, you know, it costs to get that out, to get us out to you, for us to join you every day, and that's where we depend on your help. And again, ask for your help at this time of the year. I told you before, and it's true, we just could not do it without you. Free Speech TV gets no government money, no corporate money, no Koch brothers money. We don't charge guests to be on the show. We don't charge anybody to be on the show. We just depend entirely on you. You are part of the team, and the important part of the team that keep us together every single day. So once again, at this time of the year, whether it's your Merry Christmas gift or your Happy Hanukkah gift, or just make a tax-free contribution at the end of the year to lower your taxes kind of gift, whatever your motive. We hope it's just because you love all of us and you love this programming, and when you want to help it keep going. As a little incentive for you to dig in and help us with this December pledge drive, we want to suggest that for $30, you will get a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. We'll send out to you. For $60, Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all of your favorite hosts. For $120, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, a special charity to the Women's Bean Project, and you will get that calendar, a soup and a cornbread bundle, and 2 Bill Press Show pint glasses, a nice little package. Plus, part of that $240 will also go to Feeding America Project, the Women's Bean Project. For $360, a beautiful hand-woven Carol Press scarf. You know, I wear one, and so does President Clinton, by the way. And for $1,000, you get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will have a good time. We'll take you out to dinner, one of our favorite restaurants on the Hill, and you can come in the next morning here and meet all of our team. So please, help us as much as you can. Try to make $1,500 every day here on the Bill Press Show. Give us a call at 877-378-8669 and make your pledge, or just go online to freespeech.org, and let's keep this great partnership going. Thank you.
.com/TawkrTV. That's TAWKR-TV. This is the Bill Press Show.
All right, at 12 minutes now before the top of the hour. There's a lot of wild talk flying around the briefing room yesterday about fake hair, Peter. I just want you to know, but I just want to, on the record, right? That fake hair comment does not apply to David Jackson from USA Today. His hair is real, and so is he. David Jackson on the line, joining us from the White House. Hello, David.
Yeah, hello, Bill. Yeah, fake hair went all the way. We went there. Wow.
Whoa. Yeah, listen, you've been around that briefing room a lot longer than I. I've never seen a briefing like that one yesterday. So dominated by one topic and pretty rough language. Huh?
Yeah, well, that was our fault. People kept asking him the same question, even after he delivered the message that we were all going to write about the fake hair.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, people just couldn't give up over and over and over, right?
Yeah, well, it was certainly planned. I mean, the White House has been thinking about that for a while, and the Trump proposal on barring Muslims from entering the country was a perfect opportunity for them to engage in, and I think Josh would actually look forward to that.
Yeah, why? The question that I think Margaret from CBS asked is, obviously they had planned that, right? We know when he comes in eager to talk about something, or else just trying to duck it. Yeah, they were teed up for that yesterday. Why did they figure that they had to jump into that? For
a while, they just feel like Trump is. Well, there's two explanations. First, they just feel like Trump's an outrageous candidate, and somebody needs to say something.
Yeah, right.
It wouldn't be good for the country for the major party to nominate Trump. The second, the more cynical explanation is that they can use Trump to tar all the rest of the Republicans, which he did a little bit of that too, saying everyone should renounce Trump or they're not fit to be president.
I thought he did that very effectively when he said, this disqualifies him, but it also disqualifies anybody who says they would vote for him, right?
Well, yeah, you're going to hear a lot more of that from Democrats too the longer this goes on, because it's obvious Trump is willing to say anything or do anything to get this nomination. So this is going to be an increasing problem for the party, and I'm sure the White House and other Democrats will be happy to point it out.
I was talking to one political, activist last night who suggested that the White House is really trying to push Trump into a third-party candidacy.
I don't think they'd mind it.
Right. That might be part of the plot too here, right?
The thing with a third party, Trump would actually have to spend a lot of his own money. I don't know how willing he'd be to do that, but we may find out.
I haven't seen yet, Peter. Maybe you have. That I expected Trump to respond to Josh Earnest right away.
I haven't seen it yet.
Particularly on the fake hair comment.
I was shocked. I was waiting for it all day. I'm still a little bit surprised. I don't know. Maybe he's rethinking the thing. He canceled 2 interviews yesterday. At least 2 interviews we know of.
He gave
he had scheduled, so maybe he's having some second thoughts. I don't know.
Or maybe he just didn't have any time left because he did so many and so long. Like it was a morning joke.
He had at least 2 sit downs I know of that he canceled. So
really, yeah. But
he's not one to shy away from interviews. Maybe it's
I
because
know.
He
did a slew of them in the morning too. I don't know what's. Of course, his voice is given out, so it could be a physical thing. But.
He was busy on the phone.
Right.
I got to tell you, South Carolina's Lindsey Graham is the only one who came through and said he'd rather lose with somebody else than win with Donald Trump.
That's true. Lindsey Graham did fulfill the White House request, basically saying that we should nominate him. So. Yeah, he's been of course an outspoken Trump. He's been one of the first to denounce Trump. So, but as Trump will be the first appointed, he's only at 1%. So it's hard to say how many people will listen to Lindsey Graham.
David Jackson, USA Today, USAtoday.com. So, David, it looked like everything was going to go smooth sailing toward the budget deadline on Friday. They were going to get it done this time. John Boehner set it all up before he left. But now, ain't going to happen, huh?
Well, I feel like it's fairly smooth. It looks like we'll have a small temporary extension before they get the full deal done.
But they're not going to make the Friday deadline.
No, they're not going to make the Friday deadline, so they're talking about a short extension. The White House has signaled that it'll be willing to sign that. So, yeah, it's a little frustrating, but I think, it's hard to get everybody on board up there on Capitol Hill. So, and people have warned about a government shutdown and are complaining about the process, but it seems like it's a very going through the motions process about this. I think when push comes to shove, they'll get it done.
Are these riders going to prove to be a problem? Do you think they'll?
Not in the end. I think right now they're playing high-stakes poker to try to get some of those riders out of there, trying to threaten people that this thing will lead to a government shutdown or that thing will lead to a government shutdown. So it's kind of high-stakes poker at this point. But I think in the end, I just can't believe that I certainly don't think the White House is going to sign anything that would lead to a government or refuse to sign something that would lead to a government shutdown. I think Congress will be able to get its act together eventually.
So I was trying to, I guess what Josh was saying yesterday, and I had a hard time exactly figuring out, is that they would accept a couple of day extension for a couple of days, but not like a month or 2 months or something.
And I think all Ryan's talking about is a week too. So. Because Obama's planning to Obama and everybody else in town, they're planning to get out of here on December 18th, right? So that's the real deadline. We get
all right.
Down
so now the White House, we are in full party mode, right? Until President leaves for Hawaii.
22 parties this week, I think he's hosting. Yeah.
What, this week or this season?
This month, excuse me. Yeah, I think he's had 22 Christmas parties at the White House.
Wow. Do they stand and pose for photos for every one of them?
Just about, yeah.
Oh, boy. No wonder he goes to Hawaii for 10 days or 2 weeks or whatever it is.
Well, it's all part of the deal. I mean, he's not as big on it as his 2 predecessors were. Clinton and Bush loved it, but he goes through the motions. He's very nice. Of course, a lot of us will miss the press party this year because it's the same night as the Republican debate.
Right.
So we've got reporters who've been going to these things for years and years are not going to be able to go because of that.
Well, I know you're going to be in Las Vegas for the debate, aren't you? Okay. Well, David, fear not. I will drink your share of eggnog.
Have some of those nice roast beef sandwiches. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you bet. Yeah, that's a good spread they put out there.
I'll be covering that debate, knowing that you'll be there representing it.
Yeah, he will too.
Okay, David Jackson briefing today at 12:30. See you a little bit later. Thanks, my friend.
Thanks, sir.
David Jackson, USAtoday.com.
Follow us on Twitter at BP Show. This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, it came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge, damn it, and do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30, a pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses you can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project, like a little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a Carol Press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and come on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669 or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Alexia Campbell from the National Journal at the top of the next hour, and then Brendan James from International Business Times. Peter.
So you want to fight global warming, right? You want to fight climate change. You want to do your part? If you listen to director James Cameron, you need to give up meat altogether. That is what he wrote in an op-ed for Newsweek. He said, quote, nutritionally, we do not need animals or animal products. We're actually much healthier if we don't. And by not eating meat, you can help fight climate change.
Look, I put solar panels on my house, okay?
Yeah, not enough.
In Washington.
Yeah.
We have a totally passive solar house in California, okay? I've done my share, damn it. I'm still going to eat meat, okay?
All right.
This vegetarians just bug off.
This is the Bill Press Show.
All right, friends, a little time out here again to talk about Free Speech TV and our latest pledge drive. And all I got to say is, hey, people, come on, get on the ball. Listen, you know, we're about halfway through this pledge drive already here in December. Your last chance to get that tax deduction that you're looking for, that you may need here at the end of the year, and you can do so by helping Free Speech TV. But we're about halfway through the pledge drive, and we're still lagging far behind. We've got over $200,000 we've got to raise in the next week and a half. Here on this show, remember, we've set a goal of $1,500 a day. We've been falling short of that, so really got to tell you, come on, you got to step up the game here. Get off your ass and make your pledge. Just think about it this way. Think about what a great national treasure free speech is. Think about how much you depend on us and you count on us every day to bring you not only tell you what's happening today, but to bring you the progressive slant on those issues, the truth about those issues, and to give you a chance to talk about it. Think about how much you count on that, how much it means to you, and also think about the fact that it's true. Honest truth. We would not be here without you, and it's also true that we will not continue to be here without your help. We've got to make that not every pledge drive so we can keep bringing you the best programming possible every day. Ask you to consider making a pledge of at least $100, but whatever you can do, large or small, we really appreciate it, and it keeps us going. And remember, we'll come back at you with a little gift for your pledge. If you can just help us with $30, a pledge of $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and a pen set. For $60, $5 a month, guys. That's nothing. A free speech TV calendar with photos of all your favorite free speech hosts. $120, $10 a month for that pledge. 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses for $240. Very special. We want to help the Women's Bean Project make a contribution to them on your behalf. And then you will get a little bundle with a can of soup and a bundle of cornbread and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses, plus the, the Free Speech TV calendar as well. $360, a beautiful hand-woven Carol Press scarf, a work of art for you or someone you love, a rayon chenille scarf. And for $1,000, if you can do that, and you can afford it, be that generous, get yourself to Washington, and Carol and I will take you out to dinner as our guests and then invite you into the studio the next morning to meet our team here and be part of the show. We are a family, free speech family. We want you to show that you're part of this family by making your pledge today at 877-378-8669, or just go to freespeech.org. Make your pledge today. Come on, let's do it.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is the Bill Press Show.
Good for Lindsey Graham, the only one of the Republican candidates who says he would not vote for Donald Trump. He would rather lose with somebody else than win with Donald Trump. Good to have one voice that makes sense in the Republican Party. Hello, everybody. Wednesday, December 9. It is the Bill Press Show, middle of the week, and it's good to see you and good to have you on board as we tackle the big news stories of the day, dominated once again by Donald Trump and his un-American, outrageous remarks about keeping all Muslims from entering this country. That dominated not just our show, but cable television and the network news last night as well, and all the newspapers this morning. And it's livening up our conversation this morning at 866-55-PRESS. That's our toll-free number, and invite your calls at any time. And you can also send us your comments on Twitter at BP Show and on Facebook at facebook.com/Bill Press Show. Reaching out to you on the radio, your local progressive talk radio station, and of course on Free Speech TV as well. Good to have you with us, and we got the entire team assembled this morning. Peter Ogburn.
Hey, Bill.
Jamie Benson.
Hey, good morning.
Ray Rogers here also. She is our screener, ready to take your calls, 866-55-PRESS. Monty Kanzler filling in as our videographer today. And one important part of this whole response to Donald Trump's comments is something the president talked about Sunday night, and that is the role of the Muslim community. Alexia Campbell from the National Journal has been reporting on that aspect of the story, and she joins us in our studio this morning. Hello, Alexia. Nice to see you.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming in. Before we get to that, it was Bernie Sanders' turn last night on Jimmy Fallon. Bernie always goes along with these jokes, on the late night. You kind of have to.
Yeah.
So they have this game, the whisper game, where they put earphones on someone and jack up the music like really, really, really loud so you can't hear anything. And then Jimmy Fallon says something, and you have to read the lips as to what he's saying. Okay, so Bernie's got the headphones on. Jimmy Fallon plays the game.
Feel the burn.
Nothing from Bernie.
Feel the burn.
Nothing from
Feel the burn.
Of course, Bernie is shouting because the music is so loud. He feels he has to be heard.
That's funny.
Feel the burn.
That's
all right.
really funny.
Big winner, yes. Bernie telling Jimmy Fallon last night, by the way, that he looks forward to campaigning against and beating Donald Trump. Yeah. And may he have that chance. We've got to win the primary first. But anyhow. So Alexia is here with us for the first half hour. We'll be joined by Brendan James from International Business Times a little bit later. Leo Gerard, the president of the Steelworkers Union, at the top of the next hour. Alexia, we'll get right to the news of the day. But first, Peter's got big headlines to tell us about.
Full Court Press.
Yes, indeed. Just a couple of the stories making news. Do you remember Crystal Pepsi? Do you remember this?
Was she a rock star?
No, it's not a woman.
No, I don't. No, I know what you meant.
Pepsi in the 1990s put out a version of Pepsi that was clear. It looked like Sprite, basically.
Really?
It was a clear soda, but it tasted like Pepsi. It didn't go over very well, by the way. It didn't sell very well. But people who are nostalgic before the drink will have their chance to get their own Crystal Pepsi. Pepsi announced that they are re-releasing Crystal Pepsi, but of course there's a catch. You have to sign up to win it in a sweepstakes through their loyalty program called Pepsi Pass, which you can register for online or through a Pepsi app. And 13,000 winners will get a complimentary six-pack of Crystal Pepsi.
See, that's smart, though, because who drinks Pepsi?
Yeah.
Sign up for the loyalty program.
Sign up.
You get folks back on board.
Yeah.
Have this gimmick. I get it.
I do get it. And there are a lot of people who would want to get their hands on some Crystal Pepsi.
I drink Diet Pepsi. I like Diet Pepsi better than Diet Coke.
My apologies.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. There you go, Jamie. Glassdoor.com put out the...
But I'm not going to sign up for any damn loyalty.
yeah.
I don't take loyalty oaths. No, I'm against them as a principle.
It's like Donald Trump.
Glassdoor.com is a website that takes a look at where the best places to work are every year, right? When you hear this list come out, this is where it comes from, Glassdoor, and they have a new list and a new number one. Last year it was Google. Google has fallen. Google has fallen all the way down to number 8. So number 1...
The Bill Press Show.
The best. I'm sorry, we didn't quite make it this year.
No.
We didn't quite make it this year. Number 1 because of its fast growth, amazing people, and the professional attitude. The people who mix a professional attitude while still having fun, they are at Airbnb. Airbnb is the company that comes in at number 1, best place to work in America. A couple other notable names.
The people who run the who have Airbnb stuff are like rooms to rent, or do you mean
the company itself?
Company
the company itself that put all these listings and things out. Number 5 on the list, Facebook. Number 6, LinkedIn. I mentioned Google at number 8. Number 9, Nestle Purina. How about that? That's pretty cool. Number 13, In-N-Out Burger. You'd be happy.
All
about
right.
that.
Well, I'll bet Chipotle's didn't make the list.
I don't see it. They've had sort of a rough go of it here recently. I'm
not
afraid
after
they
the
don't.
latest news out of Boston.
Yeah, I don't know. And if you haven't heard of this device called the XStat30, you will probably hear of it soon. It is a new device that the FDA just cleared for usage. It is I'm just going to explain what it is. A sponge-filled gunshot wound dressing device. It looks like a large syringe that has about 30 little tiny tablet-sized sponges in it, and it can plug a gunshot wound in 15 seconds.
No.
They've been using it on the battlefield with great effectiveness, and they say that they're going to put it out into the wild and let people start using them, give them to paramedics and EMTs and people like that. The way it works is you basically blast this syringe of all these tablets into the wound, and they expand and soak up all the blood and stop all the bleeding. So we will see those out on the street.
That's so cool.
It's a really cool looking device. I'll tweet out the stories. You can see it. It's just like a giant syringe with a bunch of little tablets in it, but those tablets are all sponges that can soak up and stop the blood.
Right. All right. Thank you, Peter. So, Alexia, the president did talk and really address the Muslim community in his address to the nation Sunday evening, saying, we are doing everything we can to combat ISIS in Syria and also to prevent acts of domestic terrorism here at home. And they're just a very small percentage of people who use Islam to promote violence. But the Muslim community itself has got to step up and take responsibility here. So what kind of, and reporting on this, what kind of response or reaction are you getting in the Muslim community? First, to the threat of ISIS, and secondly, to the comments of Donald Trump?
Well, it's really surprising because there aren't really that many Muslim. I mean, the Muslim community in the United States is so small, but there are a handful of people that are trying to combat ISIS. They realize that there is a misconception. People think it's happening. This recruitment is happening in the mosques, but it's really happening online. So I spoke with one woman, for example, who has this think tank where she's monitoring Tumblr, Facebook, Twitter, social media, and looking for certain phrases like the war on Islam or it's us versus them, like certain phrases that she knows that ISIS supporters are using to kind of groom people on the internet. So she's been looking at that, and then she uses that kind of knowledge that she's been doing, and she hosts workshops for mosque leaders, imams across the country, and for youth. Like she recently in Northern Virginia held a workshop teaching like about 100 youth the difference between Islamic ideology and terrorist ideology, Islamic values and terrorist ideology. So that was like one example of someone who's like trying to combat that.
But aren't there some 250 Americans who have been recruited by ISIS?
That have tried to travel to Syria, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
or traveled.
To me, that's a shockingly high number. I don't know how it compares to other countries.
Right. So it's not as strong as like what's happening in Europe, the recruitment in Europe, but it is faster than it's ever, like Al Qaeda's recruitment was in the United States. That's what people are telling me, that yeah, it is a lot of numbers. It is just a fraction of Muslims, and most of them are actually a lot of converts to Islam. So that's something we've been noticing in like reports going out, that it's the people who have the least knowledge of Islam who are the ones that are being easily manipulated online, because they don't really understand the Quran, they haven't read it, so that it's not as easy for them to see this manipulation of the Quran. And that's what people are seeing, a lot of recent converts, not necessarily immigrants, but just Americans who decided they want to convert to Islam.
You said something that surprised me, that the percentage of that the population, Muslim population in this country is really rather small. I always thought it was fairly big. I mean, maybe it's only because living in Los Angeles, there's a big Muslim community.
Yeah, I think
in Northern Virginia there is, and
right, probably places that you've been, but I mean, it's a much bigger population in Europe. I think I want to say that only like 2% of Americans, or maybe it's American voters, are Muslim. So it is, on the grand scheme of things, it is a pretty small percentage. But I mean, they are more visible. A lot of people have a certain dress. Lots of women cover their hair. So maybe they're more visible than people of other religions. So maybe that's why it seems like there's a lot more than there actually are.
Mm-hmm. Do American Muslim leaders, do you find, for the most part, are they worried about the influence of ISIS? Meaning, it certainly is easily used by people like Donald Trump to paint all Muslims, obviously, and they have for a long time. Even George W. Bush, right after 9/11, went to the Islamic Center here in Washington famously and said, "We are not at war with Islam. Don't think all Muslims are terrorists." But a lot of people jump there after they see what happened in San Bernardino or in Paris. So American Muslim leaders, do they sense that danger? Do they see their responsibility to speak out?
I feel like I feel like a lot of people are very resistant to that, because there are such, 250 might sound like a lot of people trying to travel to Syria, but with the compared to how many Muslim Americans there are, I think a lot of leaders are hesitant to say this is our responsibility. They're like, this is not us. This is just like a few crazy people who are doing this. This is not us. But then there are some people who are like, well, there is, if they even can recruit one person from our community, that's a danger. So I feel like it's very mixed. And, I did speak with one imam at a mosque in Northern Virginia who said that he speaks to parents all the time about, make sure at your dinner table you have conversations about what is Islamic theology versus terrorist ideology. And, lots of parents want to make sure their kids, hear about that. But he says, honestly, what most of our kids are dealing with is like, who to invite to prom and all that. It's not like they're really being recruited by ISIS.
It was interesting when the president spoke on Sunday night. It was the first time he'd really talked about that, Islam in general has to deal with this cancer within their religion, right? And that they're going to have to confront this, and they're going to have to deal with this, which he hadn't really gotten into before, right?
Yeah, that was something I never heard him say, and a lot of, I think, leaders had been like kind of shied away from making that direct connection, for sure.
All of us, none of us can understand what is the appeal of these people who are so savage and so uncivilized. It's just so contrary to everything that we believe in and our values. And how could someone who grows up, you can't understand how someone who grows up in this country could find that attractive and actually want to get on a plane and go to Syria and join this crowd.
It's so hard to believe. I mean, I was asking myself that same question when I was first looking into this. It's like, how could someone from across the world really convince someone that this is like a, legitimate, point of view? And from my research and from talking to people, it's, it doesn't start as obvious as it seems. It's more, very political at first. So this woman I spoke to who analyzes and does this research says, a lot of ISIS supporters, they'll start out about talking how people in Syria are oppressed, how the government there is killing people, how there's not enough food, and then it becomes like U.S. foreign policy or Western foreign policy is causing this. So then it becomes first they start out like it's a political thing that these people are being killed because of this. And then it becomes a thing about they're killing Muslims. So trying to like get the sympathy from people that, there's this genocide going on against Muslims and it's all from Westerners, Christians that are causing it. And then so people want to help Syrians and they don't know how. And it's people who maybe are like trying to understand Islam and what's going on and see themselves as being victims then. So that there's just what she said, there's no other alternative for people who want to help the Syrians. The only alternative is to go to Syria and fight with ISIS. They don't see another alternative. Like there is no other group that's trying to help Syrians.
Well, and then the Muslim community struggling to fighting off a lot of this hatred that we see among so many Americans. I mean, I just saw the head of a pig thrown against a mosque door up in Philadelphia a couple of days ago. And then you look and you've got the leading Republican candidate for president who is saying we're going to keep all Muslims from entering this country. How do they deal with that? Let's get into that. We'll take a quick break and come back and find out the Muslims community response to a Donald Trump, but also the fact that Donald Trump is getting such support in the Republican Party. Troubling indeed. 866-55-PRESS is our toll-free number. The Bill Press Show. We'll be right back.
Follow us on Twitter @BP Show. This is The Bill Press Show.
Okay, friends and neighbors, here we go. Second week of our December pledge drive for Free Speech TV, and we really, really, really need your help. We got a lot on our plate these days. December's a very busy time. I mean, you heard the president the other night. The president says we have to do everything we can to degrade and destroy ISIS. That's one big challenge. We've got to do everything we can to make guns not so easily accessible in this country. That's another big challenge. We've got to get all of our holiday shopping done. Oh, my God. And we've got to save Free Speech TV. That's another big challenge for December. That's why we're turning to you. And let's just get that one out of the way right now. Make your pledge today and do your bit to keep Free Speech TV going. We've got a great, great partnership. I tell you that all the time. I love being part of it. We, Stephanie and Tom and I and Amy Goodman and everybody else, we bring you all the best programming, the best guests, the best commentary that we can every single day. And you help us stay on the air by making your pledges whenever we turn to you as generously as you can and keep that. So let's keep that great partnership going. The only full-time progressive television channel in the nation today. The only free, independent, freewheeling, totally uncensored programming coming to you every day. We know you appreciate that, but we couldn't do it without you. No corporate money, no government money. You are the blood and soul of Free Speech TV. So we ask you again to dig in as generously as you can. Every single pledge, no matter how large, no matter how small, is deeply appreciated by all of us. I'll give you some idea of what you might think about for $30. Pledge of $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and a pen set. For $60, that pledge, $5 a month, a Free Speech TV calendar with pictures of all your favorite hosts on it. For $120 pledge, $10 a month. 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses for $240, $20 a month. A great little package supporting the Women's Bean Project, which includes a contribution to them, plus a can of soup, a bundle of cornbread for you, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. $30 a month pledge, $360, a beautiful hand-woven, one-of-a-kind Carol Press scarf for this winter. And for $1,000, if you can afford that, get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, and we'll bring you in the next morning to meet the whole show here. We'll even get some donuts in from District Donuts and have a big party. Make your pledge today. Please go to 877-378-8669 or just go online to freespeech.org. Free Speech TV, great partnership. Let's keep it going. Make your pledge today, and thank you.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
This is the Bill Press Show.
It's 26 minutes after the hour. We'll talk media obsession with Donald Trump with Brendan James from the International Business Times at the half hour now, talking the responsibility and role and reaction of the Muslim community, what's going on here with Alexia Campbell from National Journal. So what are they saying about Donald Trump?
Well, the interesting thing is that Muslims are not surprised by this kind of rhetoric. I mean, it's more extreme than usual for sure, but every time, there's a Republican presidential, primary, there's always that extreme right view, and there's always someone who's going to come out with, trying to stoke Islamophobia. The difference is at this time, it's just gone to the extreme. I mean, Donald Trump just saying, keep all Muslims out of the United States is really farther than what anyone's ever gone before. So Muslims are definitely not happy about that.
Well, farther than anyone else has gone, and leading the polls, right? The front runner, the Republican front runner, the face of the Republican Party today. And is that I mentioned what happened in Philadelphia. Is that the exception, or are Muslim communities around the country feeling, hatred and reactions of people? Ugly reactions.
Yeah,
of
there's
people.
been backlash. It's not anything violent, but just comments that people have been hearing, and people know that it's because not Trump's comments for sure, and then just this view that after September, very similar to after September 11th, that people just looking for someone to blame, and they're blaming Muslims. So it's definitely heightened concerns, and this is definitely different than a previous candidates just saying trying to stoke some Islamophobia. Now people are actually concerned about their own safety. For sure.
Are they taking extra measures around mosques?
I haven't spoken to anyone about the security measures. I'm sure that there are around the country people getting because in the past that was an issue too, right after September 11th. I'm sure that they have been hiring security. I just haven't heard of anyone particularly in this area who's done that.
Right. Peter, we have to try to see if we Keith Ellison. We could have him in to talk about this. And Paul Ryan made the point yesterday that there are Muslims serving in the Congress, certainly a lot of Muslims serving in the military. This is a point that Lindsey Graham made as well. Very important that we have to keep in mind and reject the Islamophobia led by Donald Trump. Very, very important line of investigation you've been doing, Alexia. Thanks for coming in and talking about this morning.
Thanks for having me.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Neighbors, a little word about Free Speech TV. It's that time of year, our December pledge drive, very, very important before the end of the year. Your last chance to get a tax deduction for making a charitable contribution to our nonprofit Free Speech TV, and hope you take advantage of that. Come on, how much do you love us? Show me today. Let's make that $1,500 goal that we've got today. At least 15 of you with a pledge of $100 will put us over the top. And I got to tell you, we've been doing this now a couple of years now. It's the same with every pledge drive. I always start out really nice, we love you, you love us, show us how much you love us, give us a contribution, help keep Free Speech TV on the air. And you know what? It never works. Same thing, we're off to a slow start again. It seems like the only way that we can get you guys to respond is to get a little testy here. I mean, come on, people, damn it. Show us how much you love us. Look, remember, Free Speech TV is built on this whole principle. It's something never seen before in the American media, okay? I mean, people who founded Free Speech TV figured, okay, if it's really true that you don't like the corporate media, and none of us do, all right, then we'll do something different, right? We won't take any government money, won't take any corporate money, won't take any Koch brothers money. And if you really like that, you will respond by digging in and keeping free speech on the air. So this is something, again, totally new, totally independent, and that's why we can be as progressive as we are 24/7, all of us on Free Speech TV. So you either like that plan, you like that principle, you like that approach, or you don't. And if you do, again, please show it by digging in and making as big a pledge as you can to keep free speech going, keep it on the air. It is so important. We depend entirely on you, and we'll help you with a little prompt maybe to make that pledge today. If you can help us with just $30 a year, we'll give you send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60 a year, this is $5 a month. A Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all your favorite hosts on it. $120 pledge, $10 a month. A Bill Press Show, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, something very special, a little bundle put together by the Women's Bean Project, including a contribution to the Bean Project, can of soup and a little bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a great, great gift for yourself or someone you love, a hand-woven scarf by my wife, Carol Press. And again, for $1,000, the big prize, you get yourself to Washington. You and a guest, Carol and I will take you out to dinner at our treat, and we'll bring you into studio to meet the whole team the next morning. Please help as much as you can. We really, really need it. And do it today. Take advantage of this end-of-the-year opportunity to get your taxes down a little bit by helping Free Speech TV. You know how to do it? Call 877-378-8669 or go to freespeech.org. Make your pledge today as generously as you can, and thank you.
At Earth Justice, we defend the environment in the courtroom. Join our fight. When you take a seat, you take a stand. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
The most valuable morning radio show, according to The Nation magazine. This is The Bill Press Show.
Here we go, 33 minutes after the hour. Wednesday, December 9. How about it? Good to have you with us today. The Bill Press Show coming to you live from Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, and our studio on Capitol Hill, where we are brought to you today by the American Federation of Government Employees, those great men and women of the AFGE. I celebrated the holiday with them last Friday with the President J. David Cox. Great people doing great work. Find out more about their good work at afge.org. Yesterday, a White House press briefing unlike any other I had ever been to. It was the official, or maybe unofficial, Donald J. Trump White House press briefing from beginning to end. That was also the case yesterday with cable television starting at this hour or even earlier on all 3 of the cable networks and on the major networks. And last night, Donald Trump leading the story on every one of the evening news broadcasts. It was Donald Trump Day, the media obsession with Donald Trump, which, of course, keeps him going. Brendan James has been following this for the International Business Times, joining us on our news line this morning. Hello, Brendan. How's it going?
It's good, good. Good morning, Bill.
Hi. Yeah, before we get to Donald Trump, I mentioned MSNBC. Let me ask you, what do you think about MSNBC's latest programming announcement on for their 6 o'clock hour?
Yeah, it's an interesting It's an interesting move. What they've done is they've decided to work with Bloomberg TV to replay a show that Bloomberg concocted about a year ago called With All Due Respect, which is a sort of political chat show hosted by Mark Halperin and John Heilman, who are the authors of the Game Change books. It is, I think, to be objective, you'd have to say it's gotten a mixed reaction in Japan.
You're being very kind.
I will withhold my own judgment just to say that, it's been widely mocked. I mean, there's a lot of, it's very dad humor laden.
It's horrible. I've watched it a couple of times because I just love, watching all this different kind of stuff. And even by cable news schlocky TV standards, it's really bad. It's boring. It's dry.
They lean into, what they hope will be this kind of juicy, gossipy, you'll never believe what this aide said, in the Hillary campaign about something that happened a long time. That kind of insider stuff. But the problem is it's not necessarily good TV, and they've gotten some sound bites here and there because their access is quite good. So they have all the candidates on.
But I had heard or read somewhere that Bloomberg wasn't happy with the program because it wasn't delivering, and that they were even talked about maybe they were going to drop the show, and now MSNBC picked up a loser.
So MSNBC's decision to, because this is on at 5 p.m. on Bloomberg, and then 6 p.m. now it will go on MSNBC. It'll be replayed. I was kind of surprised. To just borrow basically a show from Bloomberg, which is very small financial, smaller than CNBC, and smaller than Fox Business. To just borrow someone else's show to fill your 6 p.m. slot is I don't exactly know what that means or says, but they apparently.
I think it says you've run out of ideas.
Possibly as well. That's what a lot of people said. The reaction was everything from, oh, great, another show where two white guys pontificate about the issues of the day, to, why are you not doing your own stuff? Why are you taking this not so great product from another network? So, it was a weird one.
Brenda James with us from the International Business Times. Okay. How do you explain or defend, or have you ever seen anything like the media obsession with Donald Trump worldwide?
It's this is something I covered earlier in the summer when it was kind of starting to go in full swing.
Yeah.
And I have to say I don't really need to check in with it anymore because it's a fait accompli. It's done. It's happened. It's sort of belaboring the point now to point out that it's a huge chunk of the cable and network ratings, and that it's a disproportionate amount of the election coverage. Trump, in his book Art of the Deal, which was written decades ago, laid out very clearly and honestly how to, in business, but probably any other field, I think he also mentions politics, how to dominate the media. And he says, I don't have the book right in front of me, but so I'll paraphrase, but he says, keep a steady stream of outrageous claims going, and you will, he's conscious that they're over the top, he's conscious that they're, probably offensive, but that's how you get people to invite you back on, to spend another news cycle on you, and this is not as ad hoc, I think, as everyone imagines. He knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
What he wrote down, he wrote it for us, for everyone, years and years ago. So I'm always a little bit baffled by the professional sort of media classes being astounded by Trump's latest thing. It's he told everyone this is what he would do, actually.
Right. And he certainly craves that media attention. And he thrives on it. He lives on it, right? He needs it. He breathes it. And the media gives it to him. I mean, I can't imagine anybody else, not even the President of the United States, who has so dominated the media since June, but certainly in the last couple of days. I mean, going on these morning shows, calling in, not even sitting down, right? Yesterday, 30 minutes on Morning Joe. Joe had to cut him off, right?
Yeah. It's something that I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure other candidates could do that, but they aren't as prone to say something wacky. But I bet if Marco Rubio called in on his cell phone to Morning Joe, they would be like, "Oh, wow, let's get him. Sure, put him on."
They wouldn't give him as much. They wouldn't give him as much time.
They wouldn't give him as much time, but also the Rubio campaign would never let him do that because he's more of a conventional politician, and they'd be worried about his messaging and about if he, made a gaffe or a flub. Whereas Trump is operating outside the realm of normal politics, so he is just enabled to get more media attention than these other guys anyway, because even guys like Cruz, who are seen as, grassroots insurgents, they're very, very worried about every single minute that they're on any type of media in case they screw up. Whereas Trump is just, if I screw up, that's almost better. That's great. That's
so
more media attention.
Is the media making a mistake by giving him so much time? Should they just shut him down?
Well, this is I touched on this on a piece a while ago, and ethics professors, because it becomes an ethical question. They're ethics in journalism, people who kind of have to ponder these questions. They do say that this is affecting the actual political process. I mean, obviously there's a feedback loop, and I think guys like Nate Silver try to look at this too. That there is a feedback loop. It doesn't necessarily mean. It was actually a pretty good post by Nate Silver a while back. It doesn't necessarily mean that the media is fueling his rise in the polls. There's a kind of very symbiotic relationship between his the two lines on the graph. That is his media time and then the support he gets. But it certainly doesn't hurt him. It creates a climate in which it's hard to ignore him, and therefore more people are exposed to him, and therefore more people who might be sympathetic pick up the Trump fever. So, it's something that the media has to, confront. If they're saying that these things are not okay, and if they're saying that he's, kind of crossing lines, which is definitely the whole vibe now, then they need to examine whether or not if this were just some guy with as many qualifications as Trump has to talk about the issues of the day, which is, arguably not many, they would probably tone it down. And they're not toning it down with Trump because, of course, especially with CNN, it's ratings gold. So, it's not hard to come to the conclusion that they're complicit in it.
No. I mean, they're not, you're right, they're not turning it down. And I just wonder whether editorially, like the New York Times, the Washington Post this morning, and some others have said, the Republican Party's really got to repudiate Trump. I wonder whether it's almost a time where the journalists and the anchors have to cross the line and actually make an editorial comment and a la Walter Cronkite and repudiate Trump.
Well, I have a lovely back door with this because I'm a media reporter, so I can cover Trump as much as I want because I'm just talking about the media covering Trump.
Yeah.
But I actually really honestly have not that I'm defending myself. If I had to cover him, I'd be happy to cover him. But I haven't really covered him as much anymore because it's sort of it's not changed. The story hasn't developed. As a media sensation, he's doing exactly what he was doing 3 months ago and a couple months before that. So there's not really anything to update anyone on. But I'm kind of of two minds about it, not to be a squish. But on the other hand, he is the highest polling candidate. He is doing things that are, within the terrible world of political primaries, newsworthy. Mm-hmm. And all the candidates are talking about him. So it's a turn, all right, well, let's cover Marco Rubio. He's just talking about Donald Trump. Because even if the media didn't cover Trump attacking Rubio or say, Jeb and Rubio would still have to respond to that. because now Trump has amassed enough followers to notice those things.
Yeah. I mean, I think they realize the only way they can get any attention is to say something about Trump too. Otherwise,
well, Bobby Jindal literally did that in a speech while he was still running, and he just said, "I'm going to get some attention today by mentioning Trump's name. Here's that's all I can do."
He came up to Washington D.C. and gave that speech, and he admitted that's why he was doing it. Oh my God! Hey, Brendan, so good to talk to you today. Thank you, man. Talk to you again soon.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks, Bill.
Hey, so that's the question. Let's just throw it out there. Let's talk about it. I mean, I think it's a very legitimate question. Should the media be giving Donald Trump? Look, we know he's outrageous. You know he's out saying outrageous things, right? Disgusting, offensive things. Should the media give him so much coverage? 866-55-PRESS, networks, or even us here on the Bill Press Show. Should we be talking about Donald Trump so much? 866-55-PRESS.
Get social with Bill Press. Like us at facebook.com/Bill Press Show. This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, friends, a little time out here to talk about Free Speech TV. You know what they say. You've heard me say it before. There's no such thing as a free lunch. And there's no such thing as Free Speech TV either. Well, yes, there is. I mean, it is free to you. And what a deal. What a great deal every day, 24/7. The best progressive programming you can find anywhere, with starting out with our show and Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and all the rest, Amy Goodman. And all of that coming out to you with the only progressive TV channel in this country that you can depend on day in and day out to bring you the news of the day and the progressive slant on the news of the day and give you a chance to express your opinions. Yes, all of that is free to you, but of course, you know, it costs to get that out, to get us out to you, for us to join you every day, and that's where we depend on your help. And again, ask for your help at this time of the year. I told you before, and it's true, we just could not do it without you. Free Speech TV gets no government money, no corporate money, no Koch brothers money. We don't charge guests to be on the show. We don't charge anybody to be on the show. We just depend entirely on you. You are part of the team, and the important part of the team that keep us together every single day. So once again, at this time of the year, whether it's your Merry Christmas gift or your Happy Hanukkah gift, or just, make a tax-free contribution at the end of the year to lower your taxes kind of gift, whatever your motive, we hope it's just because you love all of us and you love this programming, and when you want to help it keep going. As a little incentive for you to dig in and help us with this December pledge drive, we want to suggest that for $30, you will get a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. We'll send out to you. For $60, Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all of your favorite hosts. For $120, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, a special charity to the Women's Bean Project, and you will get that calendar, a soup and a cornbread bundle, and 2 Bill Press Show pint glasses, a nice little package. Plus, part of that $240 will also go to Feeding America Project, the Women's Bean Project. For $360, a beautiful hand-woven Carol Press scarf. You know, I wear one, and so does President Clinton, by the way. And for $1,000, you get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will have a good time. We'll take you out to dinner. One of our favorite restaurants on the Hill, and you can come in the next morning here and meet all of our team. So please, help us as much as you can. Try to make $1,500 every day here on the Bill Press Show. Give us a call at 877-378-8669 and make your pledge, or just go online to freespeech.org, and let's keep this great partnership going. Thank you.
Bill Press Show.
11 minutes before the top of the hour, United Steelworkers President Leo Gerard. Coming up at the top of the next hour, talking Donald Trump, but meanwhile there is some breaking news. Time Magazine's Person of the Year. I bet a lot of money earlier in the show that it was for sure going to be Donald Trump. Peter, who is it?
It's Angela Merkel. Angela Merkel from Germany. She is Time Magazine's Person of the Year. They went into it a little bit and explained why they chose her. She said that... Oh, yeah, I know.
Oh,
sorry, I know.
Boring.
Here's what they said.
Dumb move.
Merkel was an indispensable player in managing Europe's serial debt crisis. She led the West's response to Vladimir Putin's creeping theft of the Ukraine. The prospect of Greek bankruptcy threatened the very existence of the Eurozone, and her response to the migrant and refugee crisis, challenging the principle of open borders, and each time she stepped in to help.
Now, we saw the short list. She was on the short list. But, yeah, look, I mean, she's a strong leader.
Sure.
I don't agree with all of her austerity stuff. But in terms of impact on this country, should have been Bernie. Then they left Bernie off the list. And then on that list, I had to say it should have been Trump.
Yeah, I mean, Trump was the clear decision for me. I mean, politics will never be the same. Not just in this country. I think anywhere. I think politics have changed forever. By the fact that Donald Trump has led for as long as he has.
Well, and on the point of what we're talking about now, the media has changed. He has changed the media. So this is a guy,
absolutely,
as Brenda James pointed out, who said a long time ago in a book, if you want to really get all this attention to yourself, and that's what he's all about, right? Attracting all this attention to us. You just keep saying outrageous things, and then they'll invite you back, and you say something more outrageous, they'll invite you back. You say something even more outrageous, right? By the way, we should also mention, we've talked about the media giving him so much coverage. The right-wing media has been giving him a lot of applause and support. You know, Rush Limbaugh he's saying what everybody believes and are afraid to say for themselves, right? Laura Ingraham yesterday, front page of the New York Times, she tweeted out, anybody who thinks Donald Trump's comments will hurt him doesn't know the temperature of the American people.
True.
Yeah, right. So he's got some friends in the media, too. Ron, calling from Elgin, Illinois. What do you say, Ron?
Good morning, Bill. I think the left press and yourself is between a rock and a hard spot. We've got to cover Donald Trump so we can then criticize or put him down and tell the people where he's wrong and the poison that he is spewing. So ignoring him from the left feeds into him, and we've just got to cover him so we can, like I said, then tell the world the poison that he's spewing.
Yeah, you know, I'm afraid you're right. I know you're right. But there's another aspect of it, too, Ron, that I would add is that I think we have to, as we've been trying to do this morning, point out that it's not just Donald Trump, right? It's the whole Republican Party. And the Republicans who say, on the one hand, oh, this is outrageous, the stuff that he's saying, but then turn around and say they would still vote for him, right? They're as guilty as he is.
Yeah.
They are as un-American and as disqualified to be president as he is. So I think you have to show that, yes, it's Donald Trump. We have to talk about him, show why he's wrong, make sure people understand why he's wrong and condemn him, but also show that the party that created this platform of hate that he is standing on and running on, that they are 100% behind him, with the sole exception of Lindsey Graham.
By the way, just to pick up on something, while we were talking, Time Magazine put out the rest of the people, the order of the people of the year. Number 2 is al-Baghdadi from ISIS, and number 3 is Donald Trump. He's third on the list.
Yeah, well, the last time I checked, it's sort of, it's like, a presidential election. You may be second or third, but you don't win.
You don't win.
And you don't get no consolation prize.
Nope.
No, not at all. President Obama scheduled at the White House today in addition to White House parties, and we'll tell you what's going on that front when we come back here on this Wednesday edition of the Bill Press Show.
Connect with the Bill Press Show on Twitter. Follow us at BP Show and tweet using the hashtag WatchingBP. This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. heading into the weekend. We encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, they came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge, damn it, and do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30, a pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month for Bill Press Show pint glasses. You can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project, a little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a Carol Press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and come on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669 or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays. Battle with Allegheny Steel. We'll talk about it with the president of the United Steelworkers Union, Leo Gerard, at the top of the next hour. And then we'll get back into some more Donald Trump. President Obama today gets a briefing with the vice president today. Then he comes first. Then he comes up to the Capitol here with an event in the Capitol building commemorating the 150th anniversary of the 13th Amendment, meeting with the Congressional Black Caucus and others for that. This afternoon, he'll be holding a bilateral meeting with the president of Israel, Reuven Rivlin. Then this evening, the president, 2 back-to-back Hanukkah receptions at the White House, one at 4 o'clock and one at 7:30. Our briefing today with Josh Earnest at 12:30.
This is the Bill Press Show.
I'm a Pistons fan. Their slogan was, "We come to work." That's what Detroit about. That's why they used it. It's a team thing. They won 2 championships, a team. There was no star. No mayor can come in here and be a star. It's a team thing. No governor can come in here and think you can do it by yourself. It's a team thing. You got communities. They got ideas too. The only thing wrong with Detroit, people had lost hope here. Residents, city workers, so much corruption. They lose hope. But I grew up here. I love this city. I think it can come back. I've been working for the city 24 and a half years. Within the last 10 years, we took 4 pay cuts and then an additional 10% wage cut. I've lost a home.
When you take all of the decisions out of the city of Detroit, all of us. Then what do you have? Exactly what we got. A lot of problems. Every time the city seems to fall into a problem, it's always on the backs of us workers.
You wake up out of a dead sleep and you jump behind the wheel and take off driving and try to get everybody there safe, not knowing really what you're pulling up to. I'm not eligible for Social Security, so the pension is my sole salary at this point.
We've been in business here 39 years. We've seen a lot of changes in Detroit. The area was a lot of industry, a lot of city workers. It's getting very tough for the city workers. It's getting tough for us as a business people.
Response times are increasing because of the closing of companies, which takes your insurance rate through the roof. So all the things that affect us affect the citizens.
I worked for the city in different capacities for 29 years. I feel like an old jacket. You use me up and they throw me away. In my condition, nobody's gonna hire me. I'm 68 years old. Half the times, I can't get my blood pressure medicine. It's either feeding myself blood pressure or paying bills.
$754. By the time they take all the deductions for I have my car insurance, my house insurance, and my health insurance taken out. So the time they take all that, I'll get about $300 after they take all that out. I don't understand it. I can't see how the governor's allowing this to happen and what they're doing and they want to blame it all on the seniors. Not only the seniors, but the city workers. And we worked hard. I know I worked hard.
I've been in Detroit since 1946. I was 14 years old when I came in. I don't live large at all. I wish I could. I don't know when the last time I've been shopping. I only get $1,100 and I'm 81 years old. And I need every penny that I can get and that I do get. And I'm very, very upset about the idea of them taking away my pensions that I worked 30 years for. I think it's terrible that they talk about Detroit like they do, because Detroit has been very good to me.
I have a lot of city workers coming in with their uniforms on, Detroit Water Department, Police Department, Fire Department. I get a lot of people, the Border Patrol come in. So if I lose that customer base, I'm going to be in a position where I might have to close down. If they take away their pensions, if they start cutting jobs, it's going to cut into a large percentage of not only our business, but other businesses that are in the city of Detroit. We're here. We've been here for 26 years. We're still trying to do business in the city.
Detroiters are survivors. They tough. They adapt. But only can do so much when your politicians are ahead of you and we're not on the same team. We're not going to let Detroit be erased, bulldozed, or whatever. We're going to fight to the bitter end. Detroit going to survive.
Just this month, my bill was like $138.
Even at one phone call a week cost me $40 to $50 every month.
I am living on a fixed income of SSI, so this is really a great hardship. Families are being punished. When they incarcerate your children, they incarcerate the whole family.
In 2011, the Media Action Grassroots Network, Working Narratives, and Prison Legal News founded the Campaign for Prison Phone Justice, an effort to call on the FCC to address the cost of interstate phone calls. The campaign mobilized prisoners to send hundreds of letters. Advocates and families filled out postcards, met with elected officials, and signed petitions. Partnerships were formed across the political spectrum and with groups in the criminal justice, civil rights, and public interest community. The film distribution company Participant Media and director Ava DuVernay joined the fight through a social action campaign tied to the release of the feature film Middle of Nowhere. In an effort to push the FCC to act, The campaign hosted a historic rally outside of the Federal Communications Commission where for the first time, families of prisoners, elected officials, civil rights and faith leaders came together to call for an end to predatory phone rates.
We're all held captive when predatory phone companies gouge our families.
My son has been incarcerated now for over 10 years, and my husband estimates that in the time we spent over $25,000 on prison phone calls.
My hero's not yours, you probably arrested them. Your schools probably neglected them. They spawn thoughts, you probably infected them. Feed us what you feed us, you can lay us next to them. FBI call it major crimes. Babies making babies cry.
Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
I'd rather lose with somebody else than win with Donald Trump. So says presidential candidate Lindsey Graham, the one and only Republican candidate who was willing to say yesterday he or she would not vote for Donald Trump if he became the nominee. Hello, everybody. What do you say? Here we are Wednesday, December 9. So good to see you today. It's your morning progressive radio show coming out from Washington, D.C. to all of you across this great land of ours on the radio, your local progressive talk radio station, on the TuneIn app and the iHeart Radio app, so you can follow us on the radio wherever you are in this great land of ours. And we're also looking at you on Free Speech TV, coast to coast as well. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to, good to have you with us, and we look forward to hearing from you and get your comments on the news of the day, particularly Donald Trump doubling down yesterday, saying he would not only keep and prevent all Muslims from entering the country. Man, if he were around in Franklin Delano Roosevelt today, he would have supported those Japanese internment camps too. And I guess that's probably the next thing he's going to suggest for Muslims in this country. So give us a call at 866-55-PRESS. Send us your comments on Twitter at BP Show and on Facebook at facebook.com/Bill Press Show. Join the team here led by Peter Ogburn and Jamie Benson.
Hey, hey.
Good morning.
Here in studio, Ray Rogers. She is there to take your calls at 866-55-PRESS. And Monty Kinsler joining us here as our videographer today. Cyprian Bolding having the day off. I'll tell you one person who is looking forward to taking on Donald Trump and was not hesitant yesterday to condemn what he is saying, and that was our good friend Bernie Sanders. Feel the burn on with Jimmy Fallon last night.
What somebody like a Trump is trying to do is to divide us up. We're supposed to, a few months ago, we were supposed to hate Mexicans, and he thinks they're all criminals or rapists. Now we're supposed to hate Muslims. And that kind of crap is not going to work in the United States of America.
That kind of crap. All right. Go Bernie. That kind of crap. Not going to work. Hey, we start off this hour with a very important topic and a very good friend. So up in Pennsylvania, steel workers there were very excited. There's a new plant coming in, a new steel working plant, new steel plant, bringing jobs back to America. And then this company, Allegheny Technologies, turns around and says, yeah, maybe we might want to open this plant, but we don't want to pay the steelworkers what they are worth or what they deserve. The president of the United Steelworkers Union, Leo Gerard, good friend of ours and a sponsor of our program, joins us on our news line this morning. Hey, Leo, how are you? Good to talk to you.
I'm personally okay, and thank you for being on with me.
Hey, so first of all, Leo, I have to ask you, before we get to this Allegheny, have you ever seen anything like this Donald Trump phenomenon in American politics?
Never in my long life have I ever seen anything as irrational, but to tell you the truth, it's disconcerting that so many people are getting I guess I would say, attached to his rhetoric. Whether it's saying that he's going to take jobs back from China, whether he's going to build a wall in Mexico, whether he's going to keep out all Muslims. I mean, and the fact that people are buying that crap, as Bernie called it, is really disconcerting. Well, and one of the things I worry about, Bill, is that we've lost close to 7 million industrial jobs since NAFTA. Those were all mostly good family-supporting jobs, and I can tell you in the sort of industrial sector, steel, aluminum, paper, glass, tire, rubber, auto parts, people go to work on Monday afraid they won't have a job on Friday, and that kind of despair and lack of hope when they see these rotten trade deals coming at us.
Yeah.
When we see the stuff that ATI is doing. People get desperate and they start to blame somebody else, and Trump is just sort of trying to catch into that, and I hope that America will come to its senses and kick his ass down the road.
Well, well said. It's also disconcerting, at least I find it, to see these other Republican candidates yesterday. So on one hand, they condemn Trump, and then they turn around and say, oh, yeah, but we'd vote for him, right? If he's a nominee, we'll vote for him. Mitch McConnell said it. Paul Ryan said it. All the rest of them said it.
Yeah, well, look, I think, God bless them. Either Bernie or Hillary will give them a pounding that will go down in history. I mean, that America's too good a country to have a person like that in any kind of leadership position.
So let's, Leo Gerard again, president of the United Steelworkers Union, usw.org is their website. Let's talk about Allegheny. Did this come as a surprise to you, this lockout, this lockdown of the steelworkers?
Yeah, it certainly did. Our unions had a constructive relationship with what used to be Allegheny Ludlam for, going on 65, 70 years. And when they wanted to build a new mill in Brackenridge, just about 20 miles outside of Pittsburgh, our union went to bat to help them to get permitting. We had our people working and training. We had them working in the old mill and then doing training in the new mill. They were putting in overtime. They were doing everything they could to get the new mill up and started and working good. And they've been doing that for a couple of years as the mill was being brought along. Mill starts to run and we're in bargaining, and all of a sudden we hear this rumor that senior management has said that this is their once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to twist their cost curve and to reduce their cost curve. And they came to the bargaining with 150 takeaways. And we bargained. And we're not making a lot of progress, but we're inching along. And we offered to keep working while we keep negotiating. And they decided, no, they were going to lock us out to put pressure on our members to go back to work. And all they've done is anger our members. They've angered the community. We have a network of people from all around the country that are supporting our members. For example, there's people in Indiana that are calling the local pizza shop near the picket lines and ordering pizzas for our members every week.
Yeah.
People from around the country that are dialing in and giving them that kind of assistance. And so it was extremely frustrating.
How long has it been going?
We have 18 unfair labor practice charges against Allegheny and Ludlam, and we're fairly confident they're good charges.
How long has this been going on?
Since the middle of August.
Wow. Yeah. Are these some people not getting a paycheck since the middle of August?
They because it's a lockout, they've qualified for unemployment insurance, and we supplement that with our strike fund and give them additional monies. And in fact, we executive board just met yesterday, and we voted to give them 3 weeks of additional pay for the Christmas week, so they'll get a month of pay that week. And we're doing that to show the employer that you're not going to starve our people out.
So Allegheny, what you're saying is, Allegheny, this new mill, they wouldn't be there without you, right?
Absolutely, would not be there. And Bill, what?
And then they turn around and stab you in the back.
In the throat.
Yeah.
What's so bad, I shouldn't say so bad, what is in addition so bad is that when you take their proposals and you sort of line them up and work them through to the end, what they're really saying to the existing workforce is when you're working for us, and you're actually physically at work, we'll do A, B, and C, but we're going to do less than we used to. But when you leave, we want nothing to do with you. No retiree life insurance, no retiree health care, no retiree defined benefit pension. You're on your own, you know, and that's just not acceptable in a company in specialty metals that without us would not exist. And so we're going to win this, whether it takes 3 months, 6 months, a year and a half. We had one employer that behaved like this many, many years ago in the West Coast. It was CF&I, Colorado Fuel and Iron Steel Company. They locked our members out. This will be shocking. Our members were out for 6 years.
Oh, my God.
We won an unfair labor practice case against CF&I. They had to pay our members $100 million of back pay. We made that company pay every penny of that $100 million, and that management was part of the cost of getting a deal. They had to get their ass gone down the road.
Well, you would think that Allegheny might take a look at that and say, didn't we learn a lesson here, right?
Well, like I said, we have a number of unfair labor practice charges. Mm-hmm. We believe they're good. We've already won a couple of them that are smaller charges, but it shows the way. And we'll see what happens. But, we're also bargaining with the rest of the steel industry. And the commodity market, whether it's steel, aluminum, paper, glass, as I mentioned, is in really difficult times because of Chinese overcapacity being dumped in America, which is a totally different and additional show, what the Chinese are doing globally. But we're bargaining with U.S. Steel, we're bargaining with ArcelorMittal, we're bargaining with other steel companies and iron ore companies, and we're bargaining on extended collective agreements. They're not locking us out because they understand that they have a loyal workforce, and we're going to try to work our way through a reasonable settlement in difficult times. And we'll eventually get those settled, and ATI will be still out there unless they come to their senses.
Meanwhile, what is happening at this steel mill? Is the mill still in operation?
Well, they, again, shockingly, they went out and recruited what we call goon guards. They're so-called new security force, which, they dress in black and they wear black gloves and they got the jack boots on and they think that shit will intimidate us, which it doesn't. And they hired a bunch of those, and then they hired a bunch of scabs, so-called replacement workers. And if you extend the income of the commitment they made to the replacement workers, the scabs, it cost them $156,000 per year per scab.
Really?
And so things didn't quite turn out the way ATI wanted. So last week or the week before, I lose track of time, they laid off half of their security force and half of their scab force. So we'll see where that takes them. But to think that they would hire people from outside.
Yeah.
And there's a rumor we're trying to track down that a third of the scabs don't speak English, so we don't know where they came from, whether they came in on visas, and if they did come in on visas, that means that ATI had to have lied because they would have to call them engineers. So they bring them in as engineers but work them as laborers.
Well, I don't know whether they reckoned with who they're up against. I got to tell you, Leo Gerard, but I've no doubt if I'm a betting man, I'm going to bet on you and the USW and your moxie and your strength to win this battle. But
thanks, Bill. But let me just say this: our members are so what's the right word? Angry is probably just the best word. They have been loyal to this company, and in fact, prior to it becoming ATI, when it was Allegheny Ludlam, they called it Uncle Al.
Really?
And the relationship was such that at Christmas they'd have parties, they'd go bowling tournaments, they'd do all kinds of things in those days. ATI came in a bunch of green-shaded bankers, and they don't give a good god-darn about the workers, and we're going to prove them wrong.
All right. I know you will. And thank you for being there on behalf of the brothers and sisters of United Steelworkers. And I'm telling you, you're sending a strong message, I think, around the country, too, Leo. And we need that kind of leadership. Thanks, my friend. Good to talk to you. Happy holidays.
Same to you. All the best.
All right. Leo Gerard, President of the United Steelworkers, USW.org.
On your radio, on TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
Okay, friends and neighbors, here we go. Second week of our December pledge drive for Free Speech TV, and we really, really, really need your help. We got a lot on our plate these days. December's a very busy time. I mean, you heard the president the other night. The president says we have to do everything we can to degrade and destroy ISIS. That's one big challenge. We've got to do everything we can to make guns not so easily accessible in this country. That's another big challenge. We've got to get all of our holiday shopping done. Oh, my God. And we've got to save Free Speech TV. That's another big challenge for December. That's why we're turning to you. And let's just get that one out of the way right now. Make your pledge today and do your bit to keep Free Speech TV going. We've got a great, great partnership. I tell you that all the time. I love being part of it. We, Stephanie and Tom and I and Amy Goodman and everybody else, we bring you all the best programming, the best guests, the best commentary that we can every single day. And you help us stay on the air by making your pledges whenever we turn to you as generously as you can and keep that. So let's keep that great partnership going. The only full-time progressive television channel in the nation today. The only free, independent, freewheeling, totally uncensored programming coming to you every day. We know you appreciate that, but we couldn't do it without you. No corporate money, no government money. You are the blood and soul of Free Speech TV. So we ask you again to dig in as generously as you can. Every single pledge, no matter how large, no matter how small, is deeply appreciated by all of us. I'll give you some idea of what you might think about for $30. Pledge of $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and a pen set. For $60, that pledge, $5 a month, a Free Speech TV calendar with pictures of all your favorite hosts on it. For $120 pledge, $10 a month. 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses for $240, $20 a month. A great little package supporting the Women's Bean Project, which includes a contribution to them, plus a can of soup, a bundle of cornbread for you, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. $30 a month pledge, $360, a beautiful hand-woven, one-of-a-kind Carol Press scarf for this winter. And for $1,000, if you can afford that, get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, and we'll bring you in the next morning to meet the whole show here. We'll even get some donuts in from District Donuts and have a big party. Make your pledge today. Please go to 877-378-8669 or just go online to freespeech.org. Free Speech TV, great partnership. Let's keep it going. Make your pledge today, and thank you.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
This is the Bill Press Show.
24 minutes after the hour, here we go. Wednesday, December 9, the Bill Press Show. And the news of the day is mainly reaction to Donald Trump's outrageous comments Monday night in Charleston, South Carolina, that the answer to domestic terrorism is to ban all. And by the way, don't believe those people, like one of our callers earlier today, who say he just wants to keep out new immigrants, Muslim immigrants from the country. No, he said prevent all Muslims from entering the country. He doubled down yesterday and said, "Yep, that's what I mean. Yes, we will do it. Yes, it can work." Because he said all you have to do is a customs person asks him a question. Are you a Muslim? Yes. Out. Boom. You're not coming in. That's the way it works, he says. And he also said, this is nothing worse than the internment camps for the Japanese Americans under President Franklin Delano Roosevelt during World War II. So therefore, he is right in the best traditions of America. No, he is not. But what is equally stunning is to his outrageous comments is the reaction of his fellow Republicans, all of whom are so afraid of Donald Trump and so afraid of alienating his base. They're afraid that if they piss him off enough, he will go and run as an independent and take that base with him. That while they, on the one hand, condemn Donald Trump, on the other hand, they still say they will still vote for him for president. Let's take Paul Ryan, starting with Speaker, the most powerful Republican, number 3 in line for the presidency yesterday.
This is not conservatism. What was proposed yesterday is not what this party stands for, and more importantly, it's not what this country stands for.
And then he turned around and was asked, would you vote for Donald Trump? Of course, he said, I'd vote for him over Hillary Clinton. Mitch McConnell, Republican Senate leader, same thing. First of all, on the one hand, we condemn Donald Trump.
Let me just first say that would be completely inconsistent with American values.
All right, but then he's asked the pertinent question.
Given what you said to start off this news conference, would you still be supporting Donald Trump if you were your party's nominee for president?
Well, I'm certainly going to support the Republican nominee for president. I think that wouldn't surprise anyone.
I think it's surprising. That they say they would vote for a racist moron, a bigot, a person who says he would trash the Constitution and introduce a religious test to come to this country on day one of his presidency. Yeah, I think it's surprising that one of the top Republicans, the top in the Senate, who says that he would vote for that. Only of all of them, of all the Republican candidates, go down the list, the only one who came out and said he'd rather lose with somebody else than win with Donald Trump was Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
And so I ask you, what does that say about the Republican Party? Not just what does it say about Donald Trump? Yes, but what does it say about the Republican Party? 866-55-PRESS is the toll-free number. We talked a lot about this at the briefing yesterday, but let's talk about it right here. Josh Earnest said at the briefing, we'll play you a clip of that when we come back, that not only do Donald Trump's comments disqualify him from being president, but anybody who says they would still vote for him should also be disqualified from becoming president of the United States. And that includes Ted Cruz and Ben Carson and John Kasich and Jeb Bush and Carly Fiorina and Mike Huckabee and all of them except Donald Trump. So now's the time to get into it. Don't you think, wouldn't you love to see these Republicans to stand up and say, my country is more important than my party. American values are more important than coddling Donald Trump. I will not vote for Donald Trump. 866-55-PRESS. Let's talk about it here this Wednesday.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Neighbors, a little word about Free Speech TV. You know, it's that time of year, our December pledge drive, very, very important before the end of the year. Your last chance to get a tax deduction for making a charitable contribution to our nonprofit Free Speech TV, and hope you take advantage of that. Come on, how much do you love us? Show me today. Let's make that $1,500 goal that we've got today. At least 15 of you with a pledge of $100 will put us over the top. And you know, I got to tell you, we've been doing this now a couple of years now. It's the same with every pledge drive. I always start out really nice, you know, we love you, you love us, show us how much you love us, give us a contribution, help keep Free Speech TV on the air. And you know what? It never works. Same thing. We're off to a slow start again. It seems like the only way that we can get you guys to respond is we get a little testy here. I mean, come on, people. Damn it. Show us how much you love us. Look, remember, Free Speech TV is built on this whole principle. It's something never seen before in the American media, okay? I mean, people who founded Free Speech TV figured, okay, if it's really true that you don't like the corporate media, and none of us do, all right, then we'll do something different, right? We won't take any government money, won't take any corporate money, won't take any Koch brothers money. And if you really like that, you will respond by digging in and keeping free speech on the air. So this is something, again, totally new, totally independent, and that's why we can be as progressive as we are 24/7, all of us on Free Speech TV. So you either like that plan, you like that principle, you like that approach, or you don't. And if you do, again, please show it by digging in and making as big a pledge as you can to keep free speech going, keep it on the air. It is so important. We depend entirely on you, and we'll help you with a little prompt maybe to make that pledge today. If you can help us with just $30 a year, we'll give you send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60 a year, this is $5 a month. A Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all your favorite hosts on it. $120 pledge, $10 a month. A Bill Press Show, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, something very special, a little bundle put together by the Women's Bean Project, including a contribution to the Bean Project, can of soup and a little bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a great, great gift for yourself or someone you love, a hand-woven scarf by my wife, Carol Press. And again, for $1,000, the big prize, you get yourself to Washington, you and a guest, Carol and I will take you out to dinner at our treat, and we'll bring you into studio to meet the whole team the next morning. Please help as much as you can. We really, really need it. And do it today. Take advantage of this end-of-the-year opportunity to get your taxes down a little bit by helping Free Speech TV. You know how to do it? Call 877-378-8669 or go to freespeech.org. Make your pledge today as generously as you can, and thank you.
At Earth Justice, we defend the environment in the courtroom. Join our fight. When you take a seat, you take a stand. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
Streaming live video right now at youtube.com/TawkrTV. That's TAWKR-TV. This is The Bill Press Show.
33 minutes after the hour. Here we go. Wednesday, November 9, The Bill Press Show. Welcome to Trump world, as they are saying. We're here in our nation's capital. Wherever you are, we are there with you in this great land of ours, on the radio and on television, on your local progressive talk radio station, and on Free Speech TV. We just talked there at the top of the hour to International President of the United Steelworkers, Leo Gerard, the United Steelworkers sponsor of the show. We're grateful for their support, salute their good work, and wish them well in this fight against Allegheny Technologies. The United Steelworkers, North America's largest industrial union, representing over 1.5 million active and retired members. Go to their website for more at usw.org, and maybe you can help out those strikers up there in Breckenridge, Pennsylvania. Yes, meanwhile, Donald Trump keeps rolling on every day. Something more outrageous than the day before. That's how he gets attention, and that's how he gets all the media focus that he thrives on. Yesterday, he called in to all the morning shows and talking so much and refusing to shut up on MSNBC, where he was on for Morning Joe for a half an hour yesterday, that Joe Scarborough finally just had to say, "Shut up, we're going to a break."
I want to get our hands around a very difficult situation.
All right, Donald.
Hey, Joe,
Don. You got to let us ask questions. You can't just talk. No, you got to let us actually ask questions. You're just talking. All Muslims. Donald. You're not going to keep talking. We will go to break. If you keep talking, we're going to ask you questions. All right, go to break. Go to break, everybody. Go to break.
Yeah, go to break. Go on. Get rid of him. Turn his mic off.
It's so awkward. It's just so awkward.
So he dominated the media yesterday, dominated national news last night, and the White House briefing yesterday as well. Never seen a briefing that was so... I mean, first of all, Josh Earnest came out. He was ready for the question. He was armed with ammunition against Donald Trump. Talked about his fake hair even, and talked about the fact that his comments were just outrageous. They were unconstitutional. They were un-American. And Josh Earnest saying what he said disqualified him from being president.
What Donald Trump said yesterday disqualifies him from serving as president.
Not only that, Josh pointed out, and I think made a very important point, that all these candidates, as we were just talking before the break, on the one hand, who say, oh, this is outrageous, the stuff that he's saying, but still say would vote for him, disqualify them too.
What he said is disqualifying. And any Republican who's too fearful of the Republican base to admit it has no business serving as president either.
So that's the subject of our discussion this morning. 866-55-PRESS. I mean, this is what is staring the Republican Party in the face. Racist, bigot, Donald Trump as the Republican nominee. Is that what the country stands for? Is that what the party stands for? I would hope not. And if not, are they willing to stand up and say right now, we would not support him as our nominee? Yesterday, they were all put to the test, and only Lindsey Graham passed the test. Lindsey Graham saying, go to hell, Donald Trump. I'd rather lose with somebody else than win with Donald Trump. But Jeb Bush and Ted Cruz and Rick Santorum and Rand Paul, and we just heard Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell, they all said, well, we disagree with him, but we'd vote for him over Hillary Clinton. Really?
You know, sometimes Republicans get hit with accusations of racism and xenophobia and fascism and all these things. And sometimes it's not fair, sometimes. Yeah. But they do have that, right, that stereotype from a lot of people. And when you encourage and when you allow and when you court someone like Donald Trump to be a part of your party and lead the party and not push that back down, then you deserve all of the crap that comes your way when people say that you are a racist, xenophobic party. You are the party that represents racists.
It's not a stereotype anymore.
No, it's not. It's not.
When they vote for Donald Trump. And yeah, Donald Trump might have, think about it, Donald Trump may have 30% in the polls. Okay, it's a little less than that. But the only way to stop him is if all the rest of the candidates team up. Some of them drop out and they get behind another candidate. They can easily overcome Donald Trump. But you know why they won't do it? They won't do it because they're afraid that Donald Trump will go form a third party and take his supporters with him.
Yeah,
that's what they're afraid of, and so they will support a racist and a bigot rather than take the risk that might happen. 866-55-PRESS. Do you think Republicans will be man enough or person enough to stand up and say, I will not vote for Donald Trump if he's the nominee? Howard starts us off down in Hollywood, Florida. Hello, Howard.
Hi. I'm going to have to take a little exception.
Okay.
With a milder version of Donald Trump, I think was Ronald Reagan. And that's what's scary.
You mean, well, first of all, I don't think Ronald Reagan was the, and I had a lot of problems with Ronald Reagan's policies. He was not the racist, not the bigot.
It wasn't as bad
that Donald Trump is. But so what's your point that Reagan was so successful, therefore Donald Trump will be?
Look, when you deal with right-wingers, I mean, they walk in lockstep. When you get these right-wing callers in, they all do the same thing. They all start out with a question so they can trap you, and then they overtalk you. I mean, they're all the same. It sounds like the same guy calling every time.
Well, I hear
that's pretty funny.
I hear them too. Yeah, you're right. I think they all go to the same school for right wing radio. The callers and the host as well. But again, Howard, I don't think we haven't seen anybody maybe since George Wallace, I think, as ugly in terms of race, pure outright racism, as a candidate for president since like Donald Trump. I even again with all my policy disagreements with Ronald Reagan, that's not who he was.
No, he had a lot of problems, but being this divisive.
That was not his message, right?
Right.
And Ronald Reagan's message was basically that we've got to be tougher against the Soviets, and we have to balance the budget, the balanced budget amendment. Jimmy Carter, with interest rates so high, remember that campaign? It wasn't about throwing all Mexicans out or denying all Muslims an entry. And remember also, as president, it was Ronald Reagan who advocated and passed amnesty legislation for those people who were living here who had come here illegally and were living here. There were 5 million at the time. Reagan said, no, we have to, President Reagan, those people living in the shadows, they're making a contribution. We have to recognize that contribution, and we have to give them the right to become citizens. And he called it amnesty, and he got his Republican Party behind it. So, no, he was no Donald Trump. But the real question is, will Republicans be willing to stand up and say, and reject him in advance, reject him as a nominee of the Republican Party, and take a chance that he would be willing? See, I think there's a real question about whether he would be willing to spend his own money. Because it would take a fortune. He's got it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't.
We know he has a lot. He might not have as much as he says he's got.
He doesn't have the $10 billion. But, nobody since Ross Perot has really done this. Michael Bloomberg could have done it.
Could have.
Didn't do it, right? Donald Trump, let's assume he's got the money. He could do it. I'm not sure he would spend his own money getting on the ballot in all 50 states and building a totally independent campaign.
That's a lot.
So I think it's worth a roll of the dice for the Republicans. First of all, I also think it's worth saving their soul and standing up for American values to say, right now, all of them, if the other 14 or whatever there are would just stand up and say, we will not vote for Donald Trump, support him as nominee of the party, Donald Trump would disappear, evaporate, just like that. Chuck is down in Asheville, North Carolina, the great Asheville, 88.8, The Revolution. Hi, Chuck.
Good morning, Mr. Press. You have to forgive me. I got a little bit of a cold here. I just want to tell you, as a conservative who leans very Republican, I can never vote for Mr. Trump. I find the man to be an embarrassment. I can't look into the future and actually see him sitting across from, on a negotiating table across from another foreign dignitary and have him not insult another country. I just can't. I can't support the man at all, no matter what he says or what he does. And I would rather not vote for president at all than to vote for this man. No, I could not vote for a Democrat in his place either.
Well, Chuck, you're half right at any rate. No, but good for you for taking that stand. I think more Republicans have to do what you're doing for the good of the party, right? I mean, I like our political system, and we need two good, robust parties and have a good debate over the issues, and then may the best person win, right? And I think this is going to really hurt the Republican Party unless more Republicans like you are willing to stand up and take a stand against this guy. Good for you. Thanks, Chuck, so much for the call. Get over your cold down there in Asheville. This is the season, though. God, we know.
Yeah.
866-55-PRESS. Let's keep the conversation going here. Republicans, will they reject Donald Trump as their nominee? Until they do, they are going to pay the price. We'll be right back.
Get social with Bill Press. Like us at facebook.com/Bill Press Show. This is The Bill Press Show.
Hey, friends, a little time out here to talk about Free Speech TV. You know what they say. You've heard me say it before. There's no such thing as a free lunch. And there's no such thing as Free Speech TV either. Well, yes, there is. I mean, it is free to you. And what a deal. What a great deal every day, 24/7. The best progressive programming you can find anywhere, with starting out with our show with Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and all the rest, Amy Goodman. And all of that coming out to you with the only progressive TV channel in this country that you can depend on day in and day out to bring you the news of the day and the progressive slant on the news of the day and give you a chance to express your opinions. Yes, all of that is free to you, but of course, you know, it costs to get that out, to get us out to you, for us to join you every day, and that's where we depend on your help. And again, ask for your help at this time of the year. I told you before, and it's true, we just could not do it without you. Free Speech TV gets no government money, no corporate money, no Koch brothers money. We don't charge guests to be on the show. We don't charge anybody to be on the show. We just depend entirely on you. You are part of the team, and the important part of the team that keep us together every single day. So once again, at this time of the year, whether it's your Merry Christmas gift or your Happy Hanukkah gift, or just make a tax-free contribution at the end of the year to lower your taxes kind of gift, whatever your motive. We hope it's just because you love all of us and you love this programming, and when you want to help it keep going. As a little incentive for you to dig in and help us with this December pledge drive, we want to suggest that for $30, you will get a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. We'll send out to you. For $60, Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all of your favorite hosts. For $120, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, a special charity to the Women's Bean Project, and you will get that calendar, a soup and a cornbread bundle, and 2 Bill Press Show pint glasses, a nice little package. Plus, part of that $240 will also go to Feeding America Project, the Women's Bean Project. For $360, a beautiful hand-woven Carol Press scarf. You know, I wear one, and so does President Clinton, by the way. And for $1,000, you get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will have a good time. We'll take you out to dinner, one of our favorite restaurants on the Hill, and you can come in the next morning here and meet all of our team. So please, help us as much as you can. Try to make $1,500 every day here on the Bill Press Show. Give us a call at 877-378-8669 and make your pledge, or just go online to freespeech.org, and let's keep this great partnership going. Thank you.
Seen on Free Speech TV and online on TawkrTV. This is the Bill Press Show.
Okay, winding up here on a Wednesday, December 9. It is the Bill Press Show. Your comments, your questions, your complaints about Donald Trump, 866-55-PRESS. He is certainly dominating the news. Jeb Bush, here's another one on the ducking the question about whether or not you would vote for Trump, not willing to stand up and say, no, I'd never vote for that racist. Here he's asked by a reporter yesterday.
Can you say now that can you pledge now not to support Donald Trump, regardless if he is the nominee? I know you plan to be the nominee.
Yeah, that's a hypothetical I reject out of hand, that he is going to be the nominee.
Yeah.
That was one of his supporters, by the way.
Yeah.
Not a reporter, a supporter.
A supporter, not a reporter. And the hypothetical is that Jeb Bush would be the nominee.
Yeah, right.
That's the real hypothetical.
Good luck with that.
And Trump, meanwhile, did sit down with an interview yesterday with Barbara Waters, where he says about this, the way this is going to work now, this is not going to be, forever.
It's short term.
let our country get its act together. They knocked down the World Trade Center. They tried doing it twice. Other things have happened. There are people that have tremendously bad intentions. We have to be tough, we have to be smart, and we have to be vigilant.
See, Al-Qaeda didn't knock down the World Trade Center. Muslims.
Muslims.
Right.
All Muslims.
Yeah, all Muslims. And they did it twice. And they were all in cahoots together, of course, according to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump says, you may not like what I'm saying, but boy, the ones who really don't like it are ISIS.
I'm the worst thing that's ever happened to ISIS. The people in my party fully understand that. They're running against me. For the most part, they have no poll numbers. I'm leading by a lot. They get it. They're trying to get publicity for themselves.
Look at me. Look how great I am. I get big crowds. I got a standing ovation in Charleston, South Carolina. There are so many people, they couldn't get them all in the room. I'm number one in the polls. It's me, all this. I'll say something more outrageous tomorrow, so I get more attention. Yeah, he's not the worst thing that happened to ISIS. He's the best thing that's happened to ISIS because, as several commentators have pointed out, and Lindsey Graham made this point excellently yesterday, Donald Trump is just playing into their hands and proving their point that all Americans hate all Muslims, therefore all Muslims should hate all Americans. He is fueling the flames of that incendiary rhetoric and theology, and bad for the country, bad for the world. Your comments and your questions again, 866-55-PRESS. Let's hear from you, Peter.
One quick comment because Tim Riddle asks you.
Yes.
So why are you so concentrating on Donald Trump too? I'm sick of him. I'm sick of him and people talking about him on TV. So they're lumping you in with all everybody else talking about Trump.
Well, I'm sick of talking about him too. But I want to point out that, again, we watch the morning shows here while we're doing our show, the morning cable TV shows. Donald Trump yesterday dominated everyone. He was on the phone on every one of those morning shows. If they weren't talking to him, they were talking about him for 3 hours yesterday morning. Donald Trump led the network news last night. If you watched cable television at all yesterday or listened to talk radio at all yesterday, that's all they were talking about was Donald Trump. I attended the White House briefing yesterday. If any of you saw that, we were there for an hour with Josh Earnest, except for 1 or 2 questions. The entire hour was spent talking about Donald Trump. And all those people are talking about Donald Trump for the same reason we have here this morning, is because we have never, ever in American politics had a presidential candidate say such ugly things and lead the polls and be the topic of conversation and the subject of condemnation by world leaders, including yesterday the Prime Minister of England and the Mayor of London, among others. Let's go to Bob in Fox Island, Washington. What do you say, Bob?
I say that, don't give Lindsey Graham or any Republican much credit for finally standing up to these people. They prepared the way. And since day one of President Obama's presidency, these anti-American government up by and for the people neo-Republican party has been the greatest threat to the health, safety, and security of this country, because since day one, they have sworn an oath at that place in Washington, D.C. on day one to block, obstruct, sabotage every piece of legislation that could help the American people. And every time these people come on your show or on any of these TV shows and say, hey, they've done nothing since they've been in, they've done nothing because they've been sabotaged by this neo-Republican, and I consider them, just like Rachel finally had the guts after all these years of this, finally call it what it was. This is the neo-Republican fascist party.
I was just going to say, the fascism is exactly what it is. Absolutely, Bob, and you're right. You know, Donald Trump, they created Donald Trump, and they certainly created the platform of hate on which he is running. One more take on it, my parting shot, coming up next.
Connect with The Bill Press Show on Twitter. Follow us at BP Show and tweet using the hashtag WatchingBP. This is The Bill Press Show.
Hey, friends, a little time out here to talk about Free Speech TV. You know what they say. You've heard me say it before. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and there's no such thing as Free Speech TV either. Well, yes, there is. I mean, it is free to you, and what a deal. What a great deal every day, 24/7. The best progressive programming you can find anywhere, with starting out with our show with Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and all the rest, Amy Goodman. And all of that coming out to you with the only progressive TV channel in this country that you can depend on day in and day out to bring you the news of the day and the progressive slant on the news of the day and give you a chance to express your opinions. Yes, all of that is free to you, but of course, you know, it costs to get that out, to get us out to you, for us to join you every day, and that's where we depend on your help. And again, ask for your help at this time of the year. I told you before, and it's true, we just could not do it without you. Free Speech TV gets no government money, no corporate money, no Koch brothers money. We don't charge guests to be on the show. We don't charge anybody to be on the show. We just depend entirely on you. You are part of the team, and the important part of the team that keep us together every single day. So once again, at this time of the year, whether it's your Merry Christmas gift or your Happy Hanukkah gift, or just, make a tax-free contribution at the end of the year to lower your taxes kind of gift, whatever your motive, we hope it's just because you love all of us and you love this programming, and when you want to help it keep going. As a little incentive for you to dig in and help us with this December pledge drive, we want to suggest that for $30, you will get a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. We'll send out to you. For $60, Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all of your favorite hosts. For $120, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, a special charity to the Women's Bean Project, and you will get that calendar, a soup and a cornbread bundle, and 2 Bill Press Show pint glasses, a nice little package. Plus, part of that $240 will also go to Feeding America Project, the Women's Bean Project. For $360, a beautiful hand-woven Carol Press scarf. You know, I wear one, and so does President Clinton, by the way. And for $1,000, you get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will have a good time. We'll take you out to dinner. One of our favorite restaurants on the Hill, and you can come in the next morning here and meet all of our team. So please, help us as much as you can. Try to make $1,500 every day here on the Bill Press Show. Give us a call at 877-378-8669 and make your pledge, or just go online to freespeech.org, and let's keep this great partnership going. Thank you.
The Parting Shot with Bill Press. This is the Bill Press Show.
Well, as we've been talking this morning for a long time, we've known what Donald Trump is, a racist. And yesterday, now we know what the Republican Party is, a racist party. They prove it by refusing to repudiate Donald Trump. Sure, many of them went through the motions of tut-tutting his call for banning on Muslims from the United States. But then every one of them turned around and said they would vote for Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton if he were the Republican nominee. What hypocrites! How could they possibly support anybody, even a Republican, who would promise to trash the Constitution on day one? Look, what Trump said is so unconstitutional and so un-American, it disqualifies him from being president, but also disqualifies any other Republican candidate who says they would vote for him. My parting shot for today, folks. Have a great Wednesday. Come back and see us tomorrow.
This is the Bill Press Show.